We're back to back FFPC main events. We had Sean Siegele last night, and tonight we got our guy, Ben Gretch from Stealing Signals, the ship chasing OG member, back in the saddle. We're drafting from the 102. Who knows? What could we possibly select at 102 in an FFPC main event? I'm Pete with Pat and Ben. Let's rip it.
Pat Fryer Helmo.
This is why I'm hot.
Anita Handjob.
Fix your sight.
Jamar. Alpha play chase.
Are you kidding me? Kadarius Toney?
You can't handle the heat.
It looks like we're finally Piss Boys. You're right.
All right. We got Gretch back. Pat looking like he's ready for a night out. Hopefully you guys are ready for a night.
Fucking James Dean hair. My God.
Yes.
It's wet. I did a stream, ran to the gym, got back like 3 minutes before I need to be on here. Just took the world's quickest shower. But I'm meeting with Vivian's we're on the clock. Okay.
We are on the clock. This is the thing about the 102. Jamar Chase goes. Gretch, talk us out your
why is the
process here?
So you asked me earlier, the clock's not running, which is weird. You asked me earlier my thoughts. It's pretty clearly Bowers. That said, in the time since we talked, I did one with Sean at noon and we got the 104 and built our second Bowers team. If you guys, and I think you mentioned that you guys have been getting a lot of Bowers. If you guys want to build a different way, I'm open to it. But
I want the point tonight is to draft the Ben Gretch 2025 team. If this was the one draft you were doing, I want to know who's the 102. That's the pick we should make.
I absolutely love Jahmyr Gibbs, but the pick is Brock Bowers. In tight end premium at 102, the pick is Brock Bowers.
People forget this is tight end premium. I had to remind some people in the chat last night. They thought we someone told us we overdrafted Sam Laporta by 30 picks by ADP, and I had to remind them it was in fact tight end premium. This God does. All right, now we can settle in. We got the 102, another Brock Bowers share. I need this man to stay healthy. I need this man to catch a fucking million balls. I need him to be the second coming of Travis Kelce.
Okay, but as far as needing that, there's never really been a bet that I'm more comfortable with being this exposed to. There's the entire point of fantasy football is to seek outliers, like league-winning ceilings, right? He was an outlier his freshman year at Georgia on a national championship team, led the team with 800-plus yards. Ladd McConkey, Adonai Mitchell, Jermaine Burton, future NFL receivers are all in the 400-yard range. He's doubling them up. He goes on to be better in yards per game his next year, better his next year, has like 5 rushing TDs and 200 rushing yards on like 20 career rushing carries. The receiving profile's off the charts, comes into the pros and breaks the NFL record for that Puka Nacua had just set for receptions by a rookie at any position, wide receiver or tight end, 116 catches or whatever it was. Like, where's the Brock Bowers dip year? Where's this, like, where would the sophomore slump come from? This guy, he's so much better than Travis Kelce was going into year 2. He's way better as a production profile. Kelce got hurt as a rookie. There's never been a tight end that's anywhere close to this profile at this point in their career. He's maybe the best tight end of all time when we're all said.
Because even Gronk, I mean, I think with the rookie season that he had, because heading into year 2, even Gronk kind of flashed some touchdown scoring potential. He definitely was like a breakout candidate type of guy heading into year 2, but not like this at all.
No,
yeah,
and he wasn't prospect profile. Yeah, if you do the long view of 4 years from the freshman year, we like age-adjusted production. I mean, maybe he gets hurt. Maybe the route stuff. The route stuff that's been going around in the Nathan Yonke. They're not going to play him.
yeah. He famously is lowering him because he split some snaps with Michael Mayer and
so first of all, the first play of the game they threw to him. This is what happens when you actually watch the games. They threw to him. He elevated for it. He landed hard. He sat out the next 2 pass plays. They only had 8 dropbacks. So he ran 4. The thing was he only had a 50% route share. He ran 4 routes on 8 dropbacks. 2 of the 4 that he sat out were immediately after he made a 35-yard catch and landed hard, and it's preseason, and he went off the field for the second snap and the third snap of the game, I think. Like, that's relevant in the 8-snap sample. So it's not a 50%. Like, that's when you get to a 50% number and people freak out. It's not a legitimate 50% number. The second thing is if that number is low in week 1, it's going to be not low for long. Like they're going to correct.
Right.
Kelly's going to correct by week 3.
Yeah, I fought a war with my guys because I was like, we had Bowers basically input like he was God. And I was like, let's input him like he's, Jesus, he can be like there's some man in there. And that I had to go to the map. But like after we lowered him slightly on that, but like we still, I think, we're the highest best ball site on him. So, and he's still 101 in my my FFPC ranks. So it's I don't know, it like didn't not concern me like at all, but because teams have done dumber things than that. As crazy as that would be. New coaching staff, maybe they have some stupid idea about what they want to do out of 12, or they like Mayer's blocking ability out of 11 or something like that. But it's just like it's such a fragile concern. You know what I mean? Like the concern won't stand up to the chaos of the season because Bowers is so much better than that usage.
Well, it is funny the way you think about it, right? Because often we're trying to target these tight ends who can be the number 1 option on their own team, right? It's like we know, like Brock Bowers is the number 1 option on his team, so it almost seems silly to worry about the other tight end. It's like we're so far beyond caring about Michael Mayer. Like we've already said he's better than Jacoby Myers, whatever these rookies brought in. Like he is the offense. So I think that stuff is fair. If you're like, hey, if we want to pick nits about Mike Gesicki versus Noah Fant, like I'm all there for sure. But not with Brock Bowers.
Well, he had 84% route participation last year, and like McBride was at 91. So like my nit was kind of like, I want to see him get to where McBride is. Is that going to happen?
Yeah, that's
this usage isn't consistent with that.
Yeah.
So that's all. I'm like, there's a chance that he actually like doesn't really increase in route participation now, which would suck. Yeah. So that was my argument. But
also he led all tight ends and routes by a ton. Like they had way more dropbacks, and so you're rotating a little more because of that. He had a ton of routes. I already thought his routes were going to come down a little, and I still think accounting for that, you're like, you're expecting the touchdowns to go up. You're expecting year 2 growth in target earning and route running in those elements. Like, why can't he get better? Everyone's like, well, Kyle Pitts as a rookie was really good and was worse the next year. Laporta was really good and then was worse the next year. We've only seen 3 good rookie seasons all time, and we're at 100% hit rate of sophomore slump. So he's probably going to just get worse, right?
But why are we comparing him to tight ends? Why not compare him to a guy like Puka?
Right. Exactly.
Like he's closer to Puka than, Sam Laporta. Let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I'm back in 100% Brock Bowers. Let's go back and tell Sean that we shouldn't take CeeDee Lamb last night. We should have taken Brock.
We should have.
If you guys missed that, go ahead.
Your draft with Sean was awesome. I had a blast watching through it this morning. I was like, man, I got to follow this. I better get a giant Modelo and just get hammered. I mean, I think it's the best thing I could bring to the show.
I'm pretty sure Sean was just completely wasted on some $2 chalk was kind of the vibe.
He seemed pretty lit.
If you guys missed that last night, check that out. Like we said, we've been doing a ton of main events. Sean last night, last week was Ron Stewart. On Tuesday, Gretch will be back. We're doing the high stakes league with Leone. That's really fun because it's a 5K self-contained league. So none of the tournament, game theory dynamics there. Always have fun drafting with Leone. And then of course our finale a week from last night will be with Crack Rock having some fun. But yeah, appreciate all of you guys joining us for main event season. We're about to be picking here the back end of the second round. I'm trying to see if there's been anything surprising here. Achan goes at 2-7 to the 7 hole. We got him to slide all the way last night to 2-8, I believe it was. But what do you guys kind of eyeing up?
Chase
here
Brown at 207 is like a slide these days. He's been going so high.
It's true. Yeah, Bucky goes as well. Gretch, I'm in the applet, so I can work the queue. Are you in the applet as well?
I have the board up over here, but I guess I'm looking at the board on our screen as well. So
yeah,
I'll let you put in the picks. That's always been
I'll put in the picks. Are you kind of keeping tabs on your own rankings and stuff?
I am. Yeah. Okay, I'll know who's kind of my top guy. Kittle goes. So that was part of our discussion about 102. Just a really brief one, just between me and Pete. Pat, where you were probably busy earlier, but
I caught up, but I didn't contribute.
Yeah. the idea I don't love Kittle at this price. And so the idea was if we went a different direction, we'd probably be looking at Kittle 2-3. And part of the reason I like Bowers there is just I don't know that I love coming back with Kittle. If we went away from Bowers, for me, it's probably you guys did Laporta around the 4-5 turn. Maybe it's the 6-7 at this point. If you can try to get Tyler Warren or Evan Ingram there. I've come around on Ingram. It's tricky, though.
So we're on the clock. A.J. Brown goes. I would say best available are Jonathan Taylor and Ladd McConkey.
That's right.
Unless there's another name
Those would be my two guys, yeah.
It's one of those two.
Yep.
I think it comes down to tactics and like what you guys want to think about multiple rounds ahead. I'm very comfortable with both picks. Are we comfortable with the 302 that we discussed? Because I would probably say Taylor here.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable with the 302 that we discussed, yeah.
Okay. Let's
Yeah.
take Taylor then.
Yeah, I think Taylor's I believe this is our first Taylor pick. This seems like a great price for him. It does free us up from, we just know how much wide receiver value there is over the next 3 or 4 rounds. Yeah, let's do Taylor here. I like that.
Yeah, slightly smaller or slightly larger chance that the guy at the turn doesn't take Ladd either. I noticed. I was looking at some ADP. Ladd's been going about 301. So who knows? Maybe we're looking at Ladd on the way back.
Yeah, we'll
Definitely
see. Here.
possible.
So we start Brock Bowers, JT. This is definitely like over the years, like for us, just knowing how many wide receiver targets we love in the mid rounds, like getting the elite tight end, getting the bell cow running back, just like really sets us up for maximum flexibility to
yeah, you guys had already kind of learned that lesson when I joined up with you guys in 2020. But I think the first year I was like, I don't know if I fully agree with this, but over the years, I love that. I mean, I think it's I repeated it as much as you guys in recent years. I think it's a really sharp way to think about FFPC. It was a good framework that you guys got to.
So we are back on the clock, and we talked about the spot. We talked about it with Sean last night. This is like choose your own adventure for what you want to do here. Every target you have is not coming back. Stuff can feel like a reach, but what are we thinking here, guys?
Well, Ben, you threw out a name that I want you to throw out here.
Yeah, so he's not even the top receiver on my board because that is Jackson Smith-Njigba, who you guys took earlier. My team with Sean that I mentioned earlier today was a Bowers-Taylor JSN team. So I don't want JSN on this team at all. The guy that I want to get more of is Tetroa McMillan, who looks absolutely JCM here, who looks absolutely fantastic, I think, early in camp. I think he belongs here. I said I have JSN next. I have McMillan right behind him. I have McMillan ranked straight up ahead of Harrison, Garrett Wilson, T. Higgins, Devonta Adams, Tyreek Hill, all of those guys. And I think it's like fairly easily defensible. I didn't have it there until very recently, but in the second preseason game, it's not the only thing that tipped me over this line. But the fact that he went and burned Derek Stingley vertically, and we should have had a 55-yard touchdown highlight that would have probably put him here. But Andy Dalton's hand got hit on the throw, and then he immediately did the surrender cobra. He went like this because you had the 55-yarder. The double move, McMillan's break outward, he got Stingley to stumble, and then he broke up field. And I mean, that's the thing. Like when I was on with you guys before the draft or right after the draft, we talked about McMillan. That's the thing we talked a lot about, Pat, was like that's the part of the profile that looks like it's a weakness, but we don't necessarily know if it was the quarterback or the scheme.
Right.
And he's so good in the intermediate that he still was a 3-year early declare with monster production metrics, all those things. And none of it was gimme stuff. None of it is the N'Keal Harry or Laviska Shenault concerns. It's all I'm going downfield and I'm winning on in-breakers and out-breakers 10 yards downfield. But can I win vertically? And the size suggests that he should be able to, but the concern was he didn't create enough separation, this, that. He literally just went up against the highest paid, or now he's the second highest paid corner in the league. Sauce Gardner just got his extension, but second highest paid corner in the league, arguably the best corner in the league. A lot of people think that about Derek Stingley, and just roasted him, and apparently roasted him in split squads or whatever in camp like 2 days earlier on a deep crosser. Like he's really good at football. He's really, really good at football. Last year, I was into Deontay Johnson because Dave Canales was talking about how he builds his offense around a number one wide receiver, and Deontay's that guy. It was part of why I was into him. He had done it with Mike Evans the year prior.
He did that with Evans, yeah.
Yes, that was his whole thing. He's like, we had Mike Evans last year. Deontay is going to be that guy for us this year. It obviously didn't work out with Deontay. They ended up moving on from him. He goes out and drafts this dude 8th overall when there was talk that he might slide to 20 or whatever. Goes out and drafts him 8th overall. Has been playing him all preseason like the number one. Bryce Young's throwing to him like that. He's the Mike Evans in the offense. Like, what more do you need to know? They're talking about trading Adam Thielen. Like, what more? This is where he belongs in drafts.
Yeah, I'm excited. I believe, Pat, this is our first.
I think it is our first share because we don't have any picks on the back half of the board. So
we never
as Ben was like, I came back and I was catching up on the conversation that you guys had, and I saw that you'd thrown him out there, and I was like, hell yeah. Like we talked about him last night. Sean floated him after we picked, and I was like, I would have said yes to that. But we don't have, for me, it's like almost a little selfishness of like, we don't have any picks on the side of the board where you get him. So let's reach for him. But to see Ben wanting him here, I was like, well, that's a win-win. We get a Teteroa McMillan share, and Ben gets to make a passing case that this is where he should be going anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is crazy. Like we're very fortunate. I think we're going to end up doing, 7, 8, 9 total drafts, high stakes drafts. But this year, I think we are like quite literally 85% top 6 picks. The draft with Crack Rock next week is from the 12 hole. So we'll have finally one back there, but like no 8, no 9, no 10, no 11 this year. So it gets to that point where you can play the ADP game. You can try to, eke out as much value, but at some point we want to go get some of our fucking guys this year.
That's right.
Have some of these guys. And Teteroa is one of those guys.
Right. And a big part of this that I love as well is we talk about flipping the build and all these things in best ball. The best ball fields are so massive, and there's enough people doing it because it's low dollar value. This is a smaller field, high dollar value. There's guys that go and get their guys, but I doubt there's a lot of McMillan with Bowers, and I doubt there's a lot of McMillan with Taylor. There's probably some from the very early drafts when it was a little bit more spread out and he was falling in the 4th.
He's falling, yeah.
Yeah, but he's been at the 3-4 turn. Taylor's been at the 2-3. Bowers has been in the top half of the 1st. You're probably getting a fairly unique combination if McMillan is as good as I'm obviously talking about him being, and I think you guys think he could be. I think there will be more of this as we close. I think we'll see McMillan go in the upper part of the 3rd. He's just rising more and more, and every analyst loves him, and everyone I talk to loves him. I don't understand why he wouldn't, because it is so flat there. So we may close with more of these. I don't think this is going to prove to be odd or a too high of a price to pay by any means. This is where Malik Neighbors was going last year. And the big thing that solidified this for me is Sean and I did our 2026 first and second round stuff. And I started going through it. And I mean, I ended up higher on it than he did, but a lot of the times when I'm doing that, I'm thinking, God, Sean's going to have some stuff ranked really, really high, and I'm going to look stupid if I don't have some stuff. Like I was trying to, I'm obviously doing the exercise for myself, but part of me is thinking about where Sean's going to have stuff when I'm doing it. And I put McMillan 109 next year, right where Neighbors is going, basically after his year 1, right where Brian Thomas is going.
That feels fair.
Yeah. And he ended up kind of saying that I was a little bit too exuberant because a lot of those wide receivers are so. I had him ahead of CeeDee Lamb at 110. I mean, like but McMillan has less target competition this year. And I think that will be part of the discussion. There you go. There's only 3 of this particular start so far. So
yeah.
Anyway,
I think it. Yeah.
And there's probably a ton of Brock JT. So, I mean, that really is Tet. That's the one that's making that 3. But
it's also funny. Last night we were thinking that our Lamb Achane start would be unique, and then in this draft, Lamb slides to 7. He drafts Achane, and then he comes back around and takes who we took in the 3rd round with JSN. So that's a dupe of our start last night.
Oh wow!
I didn't even notice that.
I didn't either. That's the same start you guys had.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting you guys had Lamb yesterday. That's right. I was thinking you guys had Bowers.
What Gretch, I keep hearing references in the chat and from stuff with a Silva draft. Did you guys live stream something?
We didn't live stream. We pre-recorded. Me and Silva and Leone did a team together this year and pre-recorded it. It was just a couple nights ago. Me and Silva famously have done some teams together over the last 3 years and famously like to fight with each other a little bit, but we got it recorded this time and it wasn't that bad or anything, but I I was super hyper during it. I'm kind of rattling off some thoughts right now. I watched it back because some people had some comments on it, and I was like, man, that was pretty chatty. But it was a fun draft. People were giving me a lot of crap because I wouldn't let Silva have Mike Evans in the 4th. But the way that we've kind of always done it is we both kind of veto each other's stuff and then come to compromises. And our teams have won money every year. One of them finished top 10 overall in the FFPC main.
Damn, dude.
We've done one main together for 3 years. They've made the sprint all 3 years. And it's basically off just vetoing each other. It's pretty great. It's like if we can agree on something, then it tends to work. I mean, everyone was mad at me for not letting him have Evans. We didn't get any of the players I wanted in the first 5 rounds. The player I would have taken by myself in any of the first 5 rounds was not our eventual selection.
Wow, Big Dog was bullying you?
He wasn't even bullying me. I don't think anyone really noticed that, but it was just like I would have taken McBride in the first over Saquon, which is aggressive, but they both wanted Saquon, so we went Saquon. Second round, we had Achane or Nico. We went Achane. I would have probably went Nico. That one was more like 50-50 for me. Third round, I wanted McMillan in the late 3rd. They wanted to try to push him, so we took Lamar Jackson. He didn't come back. Then I wanted Worthy when he wanted Evans, and we both vetoed, and we landed on Marvin Harrison. And then RJ Harvey fell.
That's such a funny.
That's such a funny. Him being the compromise there is hilarious.
He really is the blend of the two. He's
really
a guy.
You guys were on the left
like
axis and the right axis, and then centered in the middle there.
I'm pretty sure that he's right wing slappy, isn't he? So you went over to the slappy side, but over to the right. Oh, that's so good.
And then Harvey fell, and I wanted him in the late 5th, and we took Zay Flowers for the stack or something. And it was a couple of those were, obviously you guys know how I like to draft. A couple of those were tough to pass up. Like the Harvey value was tough to pass up, but we usually build good teams, and I think it's a good team, but it was a fun stream. People really liked the stream.
Well, that's kind of been our teams over the years with Crack Rock too, right? Where we approach it very differently. We kind of do these compromises. He pulls us slightly to his side. We pull him a little bit to our side, and generally build some pretty fun, unique teams that do well.
Yeah, that's what happens. And I mean, you got to be open to that kind of stuff. I think it's fun that's what I love about co-managing is you get a lot of your own guys, but you also mix in a lot of guys that you maybe weren't going to be on, and it spreads things out. I don't,
you also sometimes take Bobby Trees when you should take.
That's the issue with the
lead winner,
league winner. Yes, I don't love doing all the co-managing.
Sometimes you get vetoed by one man when 3 of you want another guy.
Yeah. I am concentrating more on my drafts mostly with Sean and getting enough exposure to the guys that I really want to get enough exposure to, because that's important too.
Yeah. So we do start here. Brock Bowers, Jonathan Taylor, Tedoroy McMillan. Someone accused me of just wanting T-Mac to see if I could practice my swear jar rules, which is, of course, not saying the nickname he doesn't like. So I'm going to have my work cut out for me tonight saying his full name. Pretty slow draft tonight. Everybody's using the clock to its full extent. Xavier Worthy. I'll read since we put Tedoroya, Higgins, Jacobs, Kyron, Garrett Wilson, JSN, Kenneth Walker, Trevion Henderson. That was another guy we had considered maybe pulling up there. If we went, say, wide receiver in the 2nd instead. Josh Allen, Tyreek Hill, Lamar, Xavier Worthy, James Cook, Marvin Harrison, the ultimate compromise, Breece Hall, and Jayden Daniels here.
Yeah, it's hard to know even here what the decision will be at 411. You're still kind of, I think there's several different ways that you'd consider going depending on what happens in these next 5 picks. And so
how out are you on those veteran receivers? Because I tend to,
don't tell Silva, but don't tell Silva. But after the fact, I felt like I should have just gave him Mike Evans probably.
Yeah, I was thinking if Mike Evans were to fall, I'd be pretty into it. But he's not the most exciting pick of all time.
I mean, the issue with him is that he has missed games every season other than one since 2021. You do have him at 32. You have this ascending player in Ibuka, right? You have Godwin coming back mid-season. You have Liam Cohen getting both Godwin and Evans to career high yards per out run last year, but then leaving. I'm really into. I saw when Sean was on with you, Pete. that was a really fun video as well that you just released this week, or did live? No, you released the video this week.
Yeah.
And his favorite play or best value was Brian Thomas that he mentioned, among a lot of other things about strategy and great things. Video very much worth checking out. But I love that. I love Brian Thomas, and I love Travis Hunter, who is a potential discussion point in this range for us as well. But like Liam Cohen was able to get the ball to his guys in a meaningful way last year. And I think that could be a problem for Evans. So there's just like a lot of things that are working against Evans having a ceiling. So Hurts would have been a really fun pick, and he ends up going one pick ahead of us.
Yes, we see Adams is kind of the crazy slider here.
Where are you at on Adams, Ben? Because I would be open to it as a value pick, and kind of pairs with the rookie pretty well.
So when we were in Miami together, I got to do some of my first best ball drafts. The answer to not wanting T. Higgins or Garrett Wilson or any of these guys, instead of taking McMillan at the beginning of the third, was I was taking Adams in every one of the first best ball drafts I was doing this year. And then I've moved him way down, but he's still the top receiver in my rankings. Stafford's back at practice. I can't give you a reason why we wouldn't take Devontae Adams here at all.
I think he's the highest in my rankings now too. The remaining guys. Yeah. So that would be my vote.
Yeah, no, it's my vote as well. If Pickens was here, we could have had a fun.
Pickens would have been another one I liked.
Yeah,
there's two other guys that really like. I mean, the only argument would be to try to get both of the other two guys. But man, I mean, Adams, just from the fall and the ADP value perspective, Stafford's just going to look healthier. He's not one that's going to keep falling. Right. I don't know. Maybe Stafford's going to be hurt all year. There is this element of like you have Adams age cliff and you have Stafford age cliff risks, which isn't great,
Right.
It is honestly bizarre because, like, to your point, Ben, there was this movement where I thought Adams was going to hit the 2-3 turn, as enthusiasm started building, which is what happened last year, kind of with Cooper Kupp in that similar spot where the enthusiasm built. Now all the, whatever, we can talk about it after this pick. So we're back up. Sutton and Burrow go after us. Neither of those were going to be targets. Who was the other name you were interested in?
Yeah, so I really like Hunter, but the receiver would have been Jamison Williams, who I know you guys talked about last night, and the running back is RJ Harvey, who you did take last night. I think you could have taken both of them and then let Adams go, but it just feels like getting a little cute when we already pulled up McMillan. So I like taking Adams. Structurally, I guess I kind of like Harvey more because 6'7" feels like the wide receiver range, but you guys had the same kind of thing in last night. It was hard to pass on Jameson. What do you think?
I'd be Harvey.
Okay,
I like both. Yeah. Gretch, I will say, do not worry about duping any picks from last night. It is
no,
want to draft the best. Yeah.
No, I hear you. But Williams is a guy that I haven't gotten yet, and I've gotten plenty of Harvey. But let's take Harvey. I agree. Right. I think, and Pat, I'm genuinely torn on this because I really like the Harvey thesis and pick here. So let's just take Harvey. I also just took a Rashad again a minute ago. So this is my second Bowers Taylor Harvey build, but of the day. But I have different receivers and different. It's going to end up being a whole different team, and I'm glad that I have two of those because those are great players.
So I streamed this morning with Jacob Sanderson, and he shared a conspiracy theory with me that's anti-Harvey, which is that they like Dobbins so much that they functionally rested him during that
they hit his helmet. That's how much they love him.
And they only put him out for pass protection where he's trusted, but they didn't want to bother having him running because that's how much they like him. So I suppose that could be.
No, I actually honestly I think there's probably truth to that. I think the way I wrote it up in the preseason Signals write-ups was that Dobbins also got lost for the season a couple years ago in preseason action, and it wouldn't be surprising if he's the veteran behind the scenes. He's talking with Payton, and he's like, "Hey, man, I don't want to lose. I've had enough injuries in my career. I don't want to lose my whole season in games that don't matter," kind of a thing. And they only did play him for, protection for Knicks. Harvey. The fact that Harvey played a lot in both games doesn't surprise me because Payton plays as young guys in the preseason. It's not like this is my argument would be that we should not have read into this is one of the ones like Pete was saying, some of them we shouldn't read into. This is one of the ones we should not have read into at all. Sean Payton does weird stuff in preseason. Last year, you remember when he played Marvin Mims the first snap and then sat him? So he was a starter, then sat him the rest of the first half and then played him in the third and fourth quarters. And then the next week he played him with the first team. And it was everyone was like, what does this mean for Marvin Mims? And ultimately it meant, who the hell knows what it meant?
Or they sat Vele because he's a starter. Oh no, it's because they're actually trying to trade him.
Right. There's all these weird elements with Payton. But the fact that a rookie like RJ Harvey would play some in the preseason and get some carries, some live game action is not weird. It's like
no,
Payton
I thought that was good.
Mims.
I thought that was really bullish for him that he started the game. I think Jacob's saying maybe it's not as bullish. We don't want to overread into it, but I still think like Harvey has had a really strong camp. And whether or not he's like the starter or not the starter, he's gonna have an important role out of the gate. It would not surprise me at all if he out-touched Travion Henderson in week 1. Like, he's going to have a really strong role, and I think they're both really talented. So I just continue to think Harvey's underpriced with Henderson rocketing up, which I get because Henderson looks awesome. But Harvey, I think, is really good too. And, you know, you still get him in this 5th-round price. Like,
for sure. So the thing is, I'm going to write the last couple of years I've done my high-value touch stat, the receptions and green zone touches inside the 10-yard line. A couple of years ago, somebody asked me to try to predict or project the team high value touches because I add those in the in-season stealing signals every week. You know, I talk about like which backfields have the most team high value touches, and so I built like a little model from my actual projections to turn like running back touchdowns into like expected green zone touches and then added in the receptions. And then I just said, this is what my projections say about what I'm projecting for team high value touches. I did this 2 years ago and last year, and they both were like really fucking accurate. Actually, like they were pretty good. Like we do have a good idea of what backfields are going to have strong high value touch, like elements to them. Right. And I haven't done it yet this year. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it next week. Pretty confident the Broncos are going to be like top 3 because I was projecting them to catch a lot of balls. Like everything we were talking about last year when it was like get every piece of the Denver backfield, they still finished top 5 in running back targets, even though Marvin Mims was a wide receiver getting targets out of the backfield towards the end of the year, right? Javonte Williams had 70 targets last year. Javonte Williams, that's crazy, man. He had 70 targets. It's insane. Like running backs don't get 70 targets anymore. RJ, like this conversation about RJ Harvey or J.K. Dobbins, for me, it's like it's the why not both meme. Like they're going to probably split, is my take. I don't necessarily know that I'm as high as you in terms of Harvey like consolidating. It sounds like you're maybe a little higher than I'm thinking, but I don't think.
I think I might be a little lower on Henderson week 1 too. I think people need to just like settle in for a little bit of a rough go as far as of like early down roll goes for the beginning of the season. It's like my Travion Henderson PSA. Right. I think he takes that backfield and crushes down the stretch, but it's going to take a minute.
That makes sense. For like as a take, I don't know if I necessarily agree with it, but it makes sense. I think Henderson's going to get kind of a lot of work right away. But similar to what you were saying for Harvey, I do agree on the Harvey side of it, which is like if everything I just said, people might say, well, why not just take Dobbins? Well, Harvey's the one that they're going to proactively get the ball to in space, that like the first and second down targets that people have talked about. Like they're going to throw to him those swing passes where it's like getting the ball to the running back while he's moving on the run, catching and into space. That's what Payton's always done. It's not a check down where the guy's standing there as an outlet and then has to like create.
Right.
It's like I'm throwing the ball to him on the run to get him. That's what they did with Marvin Mims last year. Yep. Like throwing him the ball on the run, getting him out, moving wide as like a first read. And Harvey's going to get those. Those touches are going to be Harvey. So he's going to have plenty of receptions, even though he can't pass block. And he's going to lead in rushes, I think. I mean, that's the tough thing is like, does Dobbins get the goal line work early? But he's usually split the goal line stuff, Payton. Like last year when I wanted Javonte Williams to be a thing, when he wouldn't score on first down, they'd bring in Jaleel McLaughlin on second down early in the year. And I would be pissed. I'd be like, just give him every goal line carry so I can get a touchdown for the love of God. Mm-hmm. Which probably wouldn't have ever scored because it was Javonte Williams. But that's what they're that's what they're gonna do this year, is they're gonna have like Harvey on first down, Dobbins on second, Harvey on third, Dobbins on fourth. That's what they used to do with Kamara and Ingram, you know, and one of them eventually punches it in. They're both going to score double-digit TDs. I mean,
Kamara had touchdown equity like right away. So, the committee works in his favor, but I think it works in Dobbins' favor. That was it's not even really a bold take anymore because both of them have gone up in ADP. But I did the Fantasy Points show in July, and my thing was like draft a Denver running back in every draft. Get these guys like sixth round, because that was when Harvey was falling on the Dobbins signing, and Dobbins you could still get in like the 120s.
And the way it probably functions in reality, right, is like You slightly overpay for RJ Harvey here relative to his week 1 through 7 or 8 production. And then you get a fucking massive windfall value for his week 9 through 17 production. Like that's the game you're playing with these guys. Same with the Trevion Henderson. You're just paying a slightly bigger tax on that lack of preseason usage, but the thesis does not change for when we care about it. The point is, can you get enough wins? So you still got to get there, bro, kind of thing.
100%.
Yeah, but I do think Harvey's going to get, I guess the part I do agree with Pat on is I bet Harvey has a higher scoring floor. I do think the high value touch stuff in the Broncos backfield is going to be, because Payton didn't have running backs to use last year. That's why we're not talking about it so much. We were talking about all last season that he's always used his backs. But even despite not having any running backs to use, he didn't like any of them. That's why he was still playing Javonte so much. They still were top 5 in running back targets. And that was Bo Nix's thing in college. Remember, his ADOT's too low. All he did was throw to his backfield in college. Short completions, all this stuff. Then they went out and acquired 2 good running backs. J.K. Dobbins had 20-plus catches all 3 years at Ohio State. He's never been in an offense that actually throws to the backs. He's always been in Greg Roman offenses. He's going to catch balls. Harvey's going to catch balls. Bo Nix throws to his backs. Sean Payton throws to his backs. He's finally got backs that he actually likes here in Denver.
They have one of the best offensive lines in the league. This is a great spot. All the high value touch stuff you're saying, but this is an offense that's going to be really effective. You have Bo Nix maybe taking a step forward. They score a ton of points. Yeah. And I mean, it's not like they have a dominant wide receiver core. It makes a lot of sense for them to use the backside of the backfield and kind of it'll probably be a bit spread out, but that's good for running backs because running backs don't have 28% target shares. You know what I mean? If you're spreading the ball around, that's good. I think
the other part of this that's getting masked. Sorry, one last note is that they threw, because their running backs suck last year. We were saying they score a bunch of points. They only had 12 rushing TDs as a team. They threw 30. When I was going through the projections and looking at Sean Payton's other teams, that's uncommon. His running backs rush for touchdowns. They're going to rush for TDs this year. That's where people are missing the running back value as well on that side.
In retrospect, it's kind of bearish that he took Javonte Williams aside, showed him film of what he used to look like, and said, "Could you look like this again?" An actual thing he did.
Not good.
Not good. Actually.
Go ahead.
Here's the lay of the land since we're going to be picking in a couple picks here. So Brock Bowers, Jonathan Taylor, Tedaroy McMillan, Devontae Adams, our slider, grab RJ Harvey, about to pick here at the end of the 6th. We've seen a ton of wide receivers and also some tight ends come off the board here. Jamo's gone, Ricky's gone, Ridley, DJ Moore, Igbuka, Flowers, McLaurin, Hunter, Devontae Smith slides all the way to the mid-6. Jerry Jeudy goes. And then the tight ends that went, Hawkinson, Laporta, Kelsey, and Warren there at 6-2. I assume this is going to be a wide receiver pick for us unless there's a running back jumping out to you guys.
Yeah, this would be receiver for me.
Yeah.
Has Terry McLaurin not gone?
He did go. He went.
He did.
But he went. He hung around for a while.
He did, didn't he?
I was like, is he?
Yes, we're on deck here. By ADP, we're getting, Rashee Rice has been sliding.
He just went.
Oh, he just went. Sorry, I missed that.
There's one
guy. Yeah.
There's one dude that we would.
There's 2 guys for me that I'm happy with. There's one guy would be really fun.
Yeah. So we'll see here. 20 seconds.
I'm guessing we're thinking the same.
I think we're thinking the same. I would be surprised if we weren't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After we get through this, I want to talk about Ricky Pearsall at 505 because that.
Let's talk about that after this too. Yeah,
I want to talk about that.
I'd like to discuss.
Is Waddle if he's
Waddle goes.
I knew that was. So we kind of have the decisions we did last night, right? You got Olave, you got Golden, you got Debo, you got Jawan Jennings,
Golden.
Addison.
Okay. That wasn't. I was thinking the other guy you were talking about was Olave because you sounded less excited about the other guy, but.
Well, I wanted Waddle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in my rankings, it's Addison, Olave, then Golden, and I'm not out on Golden by any means. I probably would give the same line Sean did last night, which is I kind of like just playing the veteran. You can get Jayden Reed at the next turn, but we could take them both.
Yeah.
I would really like to get an Addison too. So I don't mind like taking Addison and then
But
seeing
he's
what
probably
what comes back.
702. Okay.
We could get him 702, I think.
But I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah. Let the room dictate it a little bit because we're low on clock.
Or do you?
Let's
who do you
do that.
want?
Let's go Addison.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, let's go Addison.
I'm the
and see
guest
what
now,
else.
so I gotta be that
Yes.
It's nice, isn't it? You just pizza.
It's very nice to be in this seat. That's early for Addison, but I mean, I love Jordan Addison. He might have came all the way back around to us in the 8th, but whatever. What are you gonna do?
I don't know. I mean, there's
probably not.
So much yellow coming off the board in these rounds.
Yes, this has been a receiver heavy draft. I saw you guys talk about Addison quite a bit last night, so I'll save the whole spiel. But Pat, what I was going to say is with this team with only 2 receivers, and if we were thinking about Addison coming back, that I kind of like. We didn't have enough time for this. Kind of like Olave more with Addison. If we were going to do Addison at 702, that's why I kind of wanted to just take him first and talk about it. But I'm comfortable taking Golden as well. Like I am. I don't have a lot of exposure to Golden. What are you going to say?
Yeah, I just think Golden. He's had a really strong camp. He's a 3-year guy. It's like I think he's a very kind of boom bust prospect. The floor is low, but the ceiling is high. Like we've seen some of these incomplete 3-year guys actually break out very quickly, be awesome.
Right.
The film guys had it right. The draft capital told us the story, and he's been installed as their number 1. Seems like he's running with that opportunity. He's making plays every day. You don't have to pay the tax that you have to pay on Ibuka. I think it's a big upside swing, and I don't know. I don't think we've taken him yet, or have we taken him once, Pete?
We did Golden. We did. Didn't we do Golden last night? No, we didn't. We did Olave and but yeah. I'm good with either Olave or Golden here. So feel free, Gretch.
I'm completely torn. I think I have more Olave, and I've been moving Olave back because that offense sucks. Let's take Golden. I think Golden's more fun. Let's take Golden. Olave's the offense looks gross. Shaheed actually looked pretty good in the preseason. Part of my Olave take earlier, like I liked that you guys took him last night. And I've been talking about to Sean enough that Sean's been saying he's taking him a little, but he's saying on the pod, he's like, I'm getting your guy Olave. I'm like, I don't know if I like that you're calling him my guy. In the league, but
Sean looked kind of pained last night when we took Olave.
I think maybe a little bit. Yeah. I talked to him today because we did the draft, and he made it. I asked him how the draft went. We talked a little, and he did make a comment. He was like, "I wish, it would have worked out where that you said something like that. You guys got Olave on your team.
You got Olave
tonight, yeah." It was very funny.
I
was good. Like, oh yeah,
we took Judy, and then Olave came back around. So
he didn't get to take Addison, who's more his guy than me, and I get to take Addison, which is very fun. But I've been super into Olave. But the part of I'm sorry, I'm taking forever to make this point. But part of it is that Shaheed's coming back from not an ACL, but a significant knee injury, and I thought target competition be super weak. Shaheed might be like closer to on par with Olave than I want him to be. Olave's got a lot better long-term track record, but if Shaheed's anywhere close to that, and they trade for Vele, yeah.
The meniscus, I think it was a meniscus, so that's not like as serious, right. I guess, depending on the severity. But it's not like he tore a ligament, and it's down to like he's been pretty healthy at camp. The Vele things, I almost view the Vele thing as bullish though, where it's like, okay, if you trade for Vele, you're gonna pass the ball, I guess. You're thinking you're good enough to trade 4th round pick, which you're definitely not. But I kind of like that you think that you are. Like they're not like full on. I don't know. There's some belief in the room, which I suppose is good. I don't know what's creating the belief because their quarterback situation is somehow worse than the Browns. But, I'm happy that they think they can throw it.
Gretch, what were you you said you wanted to talk about the Pearsall selection there at 5.5. What was your thoughts on that rise?
Is that insane or am I crazy?
I'm not on it.
That's what I was just gonna say. That is where he's going. Like he's going in the 5th round in underdog drafts right now. I mean, obviously you get the tight end push up here, so even adjusted, that's even higher than that. But that's where the market is. I feel like at this point with him. So
in Maine's, he's the middle of the 6th. Sorry, Leone and Silva wanted to talk about him at the 5-6 turn, and I was like, that's just too early for this dude. So to see him go in this at 5:05 was pretty shocking to me. But the main thing is like the way that Leone is talking about is like the offseason's broke right for him. I get that, but that's a week one argument, right? Like,
yeah,
Juwan Jennings' contract and calf stuff is concerning. He was way better last year on a per out basis. Like, I understand that Pearsall had a good end of the season, and I understand he's a year 2 guy, and he's looked good. But all this stuff from camp is consistently like, this dude doesn't get out of his breaks. He's not where he needs to be on time. We got to just keep working with him to make sure that Purdy knows that like he's going to be where he needs to be on time. He's got to keep getting better at that. I'm like, maybe this is why he's never run strong targets numbers, even in college or last year, unless they're like featuring him. His first couple games back from the gunshot, he got a lot of targets. Then he went like 4 games with nothing while running a lot of routes. And then he closed the season when their season was over, when they got eliminated with 2 really strong games, when they were sort of featuring him and building him up again. They've been featuring him all camp. I think they'll feature him at times this year. Brandon Ayuk was a 2nd-round pick last year. Like, when they were talking about trading him, everyone in the league was like, this dude's one of the top 10 wide receivers in the entire NFL. And then the 49ers paid him. When he comes back, like down the stretch, that guy's going to land on top of you, and you had a 14% targets per out as a rookie, and your breakout's going to be so good that that's not going to matter. Christian McCaffrey ran 91 routes last year. He's going to be a part of your passing game. He runs legitimate routes and gets open. George Kittle's still there. Juwan Jennings had a better season last year, meaningfully almost double the targets per out. Where's the Ricky Pearsall like legit ceiling come from? Like, that was the other thing when I was talking about Evans. He's good, but where's the ceiling? Because if I'm taking him in round 4 or round 3 or whatever, I want to know that he can be like a legit ceiling guy and not just like, oh, he scores a lot of touchdowns. I don't know, man. Some of these picks, it's like, this is not going to win the main event or win you your league. Like, this is, and Pearsall here, I feel like you're hoping for a really good first month. I don't know.
Well, I'll make the pro Pearsall case because I'm always making the anti Pearsall case because I think he's undervalued and I have a mega fid stance on him in best ball. So
overvalued, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I think he's overvalued. Yeah. But if you're a first round pick and then you're kind of blocked and then they get rid of Debo, Ayuk tears up his knee, and Jennings is dealing with calf contract stuff, then you get a whole training camp to get installed as the number 1 option. Looking at the first read stuff last year, Juwan Jennings was at a 20% first read target rate, which is really good, but he's Juwan Jennings. Like, does that mean it's probably that he was the guy they trusted, but he
get out of his breaks.
To get out of his breaks, yeah. But Pearsall was a rookie, so maybe. Come on, let me finish.
Sorry.
Let me do it. I've never done it. I'm making it up as I go. But Jennings is, tapped to be the number 1 guy, and he immediately goes for over 2 yards per route run because that's how efficient this offense is. If you're the number 1 guy in a Shanahan offense, you can be the dude. And if Pearsall gets anointed as the guy, steps up, performs in that role for a month, Ayuk coming back from a multi-ligament knee tear might not be 100% all season. He might have trouble displacing what Pearsall's doing, and Jennings certainly might have trouble kind of working back into Shanahan's good graces. And this offense has supported multiple guys. I mean, you mentioned Ayuk being a 2nd-round pick. Well, Debo's going right in that same range too, because this offense has traditionally, been one that can support multiple wide receivers. So I think that there is some upside to the Pearsall bet, and I get why people are excited. I think he's just really overpriced for the talent-based bet that you're getting. It feels very opportunity-based, and I agree with everything you're saying about kind of it being not only opportunity-based, but front-weighted opportunity-based, which is weird for a second-year player. But so I have a really hard time with the price, but I do think there's a ceiling. Like, if he's good, he could run away with a job here.
Well, it's kind of funny, right? Because it's almost the inverse of the dynamic we were talking about with Trevion Henderson, where you're paying a tax for like the later season, breakout. You're like paying the premium for the front loaded Ricky Pearsall stuff, because it gets really murky after that if he's not a superstar. And like Joe says in the chat, if Pearsall is a superstar, the setup is there for him. No one is arguing with the setup. Like, no one. It's that first part is like, no one thinks his profile indicates he's a superstar.
That's my concern. But I do think Pat just made a really, I'm gonna say that you just convinced me that, not that he should be going in the 5th, but that
I hope I didn't convince you, because I have none of this guy.
Yeah.
It's one of my biggest fates.
But that I'm looking at him too negatively, which was the point where you made, where when Juwan Jennings got into the number one role, that the first free target share and the way that he was scoring, and like, you're right. If Pearsall becomes that clear number one, I think it's crowded, man. Like that was last year. That's the other thing I dislike about his rookie year number so much is Ayuk was hurt, CMC was hurt, Debo had pneumonia. They needed someone to do all that, so Jennings stepped up and did all that. But if you can't earn targets in that environment, what about if CMC stays healthy? What about if Ayuk comes back and is good this year? And I think Ayuk is – it's weird that his situation has not really changed and his price is just like really falling. Draco and I took him in a best ball in the end of the 13th earlier. And then Sean and I took him today in the end of the 12th. And I'll talk about it on stream because I don't want to take him again at the end of the 12th. Somebody take him before then. It's absurd. He's too talented. He'll be 12 months removed when he comes back. They're already factoring in the multi-ligament stuff with the 6-week timeline. I don't think he's going to be amazing, but he's probably a lot better than Ricky Pearsall. Like a lot better.
Yeah, if healthy, I think it'd be hard to argue.
We are about to be on deck. We are on the clock. Ferguson, Loveland come off the board. Keon Coleman, Juwan Jennings gone as well. Looking at ADP, you're looking at some running backs like Caleb Johnson, Jordan Mason, Etienne Dobbins. What are you guys seeing here?
Mason went. I don't like
Mason
Caleb Johnson very much right now. I'm seeing Josh Downs potentially, but
Downs, Reed. What do you see, Pat?
Well, we could do Bill again. I'd be fine. This is
I was going to ask if this is where you guys take him. The only guys I have ahead of him in my rankings are Dobbins and Caleb, but I don't like Caleb enough to take him.
Yeah, I don't love Caleb either. But I love Downs, and
I think Downs is a really good pick with Daniel Jones winning the job.
The two rookies and the suspended Addison, we could use them.
Yeah. All right, let's do Downs. We'll grab Downs here.
Going to be ready for week one. The hamstring is not a massive issue. He was already massively underpriced, and then he was going to rise, but he didn't because Anthony Richardson was going to win the job, and then Anthony Richardson didn't win the job, and now he's just going at 8-11 for reasons that are – he's went behind Keon Coleman. It doesn't make any sense. Daniel Jones is good enough to make Josh Downs into a star. Josh Downs is good enough to be a star, even with Daniel Jones. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I do like that pairing with Addison, assuming, Downs is good to go for the start of the season.
Yeah, and I was going to ask about Pittman because maybe we could have just went Pittman ahead of Downs, but I think both the Colts are.
I think Downs is just better than Pittman, though.
Right. That's why I didn't ask. I was like, I kind of just want to do the Downs thing. So Reed was the other one, and then Pittman on my receiver side. I've been low man on Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt in a lot of places. I was talking with Jacob Sanderson about it yesterday, and he ends up writing a whole article and talking about the text that I sent him, and I tweeted about it a little bit earlier, but I guess I can't justify why we wouldn't take him at this point. I feel like I've ranked him low, and I still have him in this rank.
Do you have him ahead of Caleb? Oh, Caleb goes, so that conversation.
I do have Caleb ahead of him, but I don't really want to take Caleb, and that's probably just because of ADP. The only guy I have ahead of him at this point is Dobbins, who I do really like, but we have RJ Harvey. So
yeah, that makes that.
We can't take Dobbins. So it's either
the only other thing
me,
would be like
and then we don't
receiver.
want Jayden Reed. We don't want Jayden Reed because we have Golden.
Yeah.
I kind of want to just
on a
like the
team
Golden
like this. You could also stash Godwin on a team like this. He's only expected to miss 3 to 4 weeks at this point.
You could do that. I think we just take Krosky-Merritt at this point. I think
won't come back.
Spot to take him.
Yeah, I mean, I find it a little bit strange that people aren't like the dots are so connected. But it's like, oh, they just didn't like Brian Robinson, but I guess you got to figure out what they're going to do at running back. It's like they're going to play the guy who took his job. Like, what do you mean? Like maybe not 100% right away, but like it's going to be his job.
Gretch, you like Bill here?
I'm in. I want him. Right. Yeah, I want him. He's behind ADP now. In the last 3 days in Big Gorillas and main events, he's going at the 809. We get him at the 902. We actually get him. This is called the slide. In case you guys know.
All right. Big, beautiful Bill on the team. For our audio listeners here, here's where we're at through 9 rounds. Brock Bowers, Jonathan Taylor, Tedaroya McMillan, Devontae Adams, RJ Harvey, Jordan Addison, Matthew Golden, Josh Downs, and Bill sandwiched in between Caleb Johnson, Joe Mixon, and J.K. Dobbins. Fun start here for us, fellas.
Very.
So I'm going to do the weird thing and talk negatively about the pick we just made. But my concern with Bill is what I tweeted earlier is that they traded Jahan Dotson right before the start of last season. And then it wasn't for anyone. It was just to move on from Dotson and to kind of let him have a new home. Change of scenery, whatever. Luke McCaffrey didn't step into anything. Nobody stepped into anything. I do believe the hype about the really good offseason for Bill. I think what that's meant is they now have a roster issue because they were always going to have Eckler. They were always going to have Chris Rodriguez, and they were always going to have Jeremy McNichols because of the ways that those guys help on special teams and the different roles that they fill. And so when Bill forced his way onto the roster at minimum, now, I'm not saying this is the only thing, but at minimum, that made Robinson expendable. And then eventually, there's some behind-the-scenes discussions, and Robinson, probably it could have been Chris Rodriguez who was expendable, but I'm pretty sure Chris Rodriguez plays a little bit on special teams. And people have talked about how he's been cut in these things, Rodriguez. I don't know. I don't know that I buy into that stuff. It's late season, whatever. You kind of have to do certain roster things late season, but they brought him back this offseason, and I think they know what they have, and they had planned to do stuff with him. Yeah, he does play on special teams. Every active game, he played at least one snap on special teams in as many as 13. So I guess I think that he's going to be a part of the backfield. Now, and then I have concern about the overall scoring environment, particularly the receptions. His profile's not good for receptions, and Daniels doesn't throw to the backs. They do RPO quick hits to the wide receivers, and Debo's going to get that stuff, and Jalen Lane may get that stuff, and then he runs. There's no checkdowns either. Eckler's one of the best receiving backs of this generation. Had 20 catches last year. Had basically nothing compared to the rest of his career numbers. And Eckler was good last year, not just as a runner or a receiver, but as a returner. He looked explosive last year at times. He looked like he had a little bit of his burst back after being hurt in his last year with the Chargers. So I think he's still a big part of the backfield. I do think Ja'Cory Cross-Camara is probably going to be ahead of Chris Rodriguez and McNichols and be the other guy that's playing a lot. But if he's in a committee, I never really liked the Robinson play, as you know, Pat. I've always kind of poked you about it. But if you're in a committee in a backfield that doesn't really throw to the backs, it's kind of an issue. But Daniels does allow you to get some explosive runs. That's what he does provide you with these mobile quarterbacks provide, rushing lanes.
Yeah. But Robinson has always been, for me, the kind of a best ball thing where hey, I don't know, this guy's nominally the starter. He's going to get some rushes, and it's just underpriced for where he goes. And he's getting a slot in my lineup whenever he scores a touchdown. Ja'Cory Cross-Camara is maybe really explosive. To me, he's more like Pacheco, where he's actually adding something to the offense that they're oh, the other guys don't do this. What if we play this guy more? So
yeah,
I think he's very much back weighted to me, but we're going to see him right away. He's going to get carries week 1 for sure. Is he going to have the starting roles? Is he going to be startable? Maybe not, but who cares? We have RJ Harvey with Jonathan Taylor.
That's right. He can work into a bigger role. That's the bets we're making in these ranges most of the time. Anyway, that's what Caleb Johnson is, because Caleb Johnson's not going to play a ton early. I don't think
he's not. Yeah, Caleb Johnson's not going to play a ton early. I would not be surprised at all if Ja'Cory Cross-Camara has more carries than Caleb Johnson week 1.
That's not
that wouldn't be shocking. I actually feel that's probably
it might be the bet. Yeah.
It might be the bet.
Probably even money on a.
It's probably even money.
The only reason it won't be, if it's not, is because Arthur Smith's offense will have 30 running back carries total.
Right.
The running back rush share is higher.
Running back rush share is the better bet. That's the sharp bet. I love it. Yeah, but it just feels weird. It feels crazy, but it's hey, this guy is probably even money for carries week 1 and is on the much more exciting offense and has worse competition for early down carries going forward. He can spread his wings so easily. So, yeah, I'm very in.
Someone asked if there is a Bill clip in production. Absolutely not. The way these things work is once we have over 50% exposure to a player, we no longer have them clip eligible. That's just it's not possible.
You're lucky you got Fannin. People thought Fannin was going to be this this guy that Pat was way too into and we didn't have a ton of exposure. And now he's starting to show up on a lot of teams. So
It's
You're
getting
lucky
close.
Yeah.
The thing is though, it feels a lot.
Can I say that I'm so honored that I made the clip, even though I haven't
The
been on
Darkwing
shows
Duck.
with you guys?
Darkwing Duck.
We talked fan, and I started doing some singing. I love it. I appreciate it.
It's so good.
No, I mean, the thing is, though, is like mushing your 9th round pick is a lot different than mushing like your 16th round pick. We
For
can
sure,
survive
yeah.
a 16th round mush. We can't survive. There will be no Brock Bowers clip. You will never see a fucking Brock Bowers clip on this show. So the team: Brock Bowers, Jonathan Taylor, Tedaroya McMillan, Devontae Adams, RJ Harvey, Jordan Addison, Matthew Golden, Josh Downs, and Bill through 9. Thank you to everybody hanging out in the chat tonight, getting all of your lovely thoughts on our team.
I love the case for Bill in this range at this point. The next conversation becomes, is he a better bet at all of those things than Jayden Blue? Is he a better bet at all those things than Cam Scatterbu? Because those are the guys that I had a hard time moving him ahead of. I did just do that in the last couple of days. But originally when I moved him up, I had him behind Blue, behind Scatterbu, behind the other ones I'm not going to name because they haven't been drafted yet.
I think for me, yes, on Blue. Blue hasn't. I just have had a harder time with Blue, kind of the profile being more of like the past.
Oh yeah, I've been using
the
sidekick for my slows from Miami and Jayden Blue. I gotta scroll to find Jayden Blue. You guys hate him over there.
Well, the thing about the Cowboys backfield is it seems like the answer might be no one, because they want to play Lipke, they want to throw to Turpin, they're gonna have Williams. They're talking to Maffa. You know, Sanders was the way we were playing. He might get cut now. So there's just like, it's a million ways to get hurt. It's just how the Cowboys backfield is starting to feel to me, where Merritt seems like their plan is to basically hand the early down stuff to Bill over time. And they'll use Rodriguez to help ramp him up, but that will be his job. And I don't know that that's the Cowboys' plan, like at all with Blue. I think he could maybe force that to be the plan with good enough play, but yeah, that's where I'm at on him. And then Scatterbu feels like more all or nothing, where I think he can just straight up take that job, but Tracy's like the clear-cut starter to begin the season. And does he kind of devolve into a bit of a roster clogger where you're not even like seeing him? Like, is he good? You know, he's still like a black box and it's week 4 and we're cutting him. So that's would be the concern with Scatterbu. I like Scatterbu a lot, but you're just going to get more information on Bill.
Yeah, I like Scatterbu a ton too. I think there's just the elements of like the multi-leg parlay. It's like, got to beat Tracy. We need the quarterback play to be good enough. You know, we need him, you know, I see it coming together. All right. We're on the clock here. Luther Burden's gone. Godwin's gone. But I'll toss out, you know, Higgins, and there's some running backs that are interesting too.
I threw in the private chat who I would have had in the queue like 4 picks ago, and then the others went off, and it wasn't any of them. I think the pick kind of has to be Jayden Higgins. We only have 5 receivers through 9 rounds. It's a big tier break, I think. Like, it's a huge tier break after him. He closes sort of the wide receiver window, and he shouldn't go this late, right? Is there any reason you guys would be out on him?
No, I'm not out on him at all.
He's
the only reason I wouldn't want to take him is because I'm so excited about some other guys. But I think the correct move is probably to take Higgins, who's actually the highest in my rankings right now.
Yeah, let's take him.
Excited about other wide receivers or other running backs, Pat?
Running backs.
Yeah,
I agree with you. I think there's been a big tier break here. Yes. He's the last of the tier. Yeah,
great. And we're on the same page on the way back too, because I don't think the guy in the one hole is listening to us based on some of his picks. I don't. The other name is Drake May. All these QBs go off and Drake May doesn't go off, but I don't think you can take a QB. It's not flat enough. You take QBs when it's flat. You know what I'm saying?
It's not flat. It's not flat.
We have to take.
Well, it might be flat depending on what this guy does, but it's not flat yet.
It could flatten out a little bit. Yeah.
So we grab Higgins there.
Yeah, it's not flat.
Well, I think
Sampson or Tuten.
Yeah, I would have Dylan Sampson in the same tier, but I'm pretty sure you're saying Tuten, and I'm going to go ahead and change my rankings because I still have Sampson ahead of Tuten, but I'm just going to put Tuten ahead while we're on the air because he belongs ahead. You're talking about Tuten, right, Pat?
I'm talking about Tuten.
Yeah,
Tuten's taking that job. I don't know. You
Yeah.
saw the
Yeah, I haven't moved
hype
him
from
up
Nate
enough.
Tice where he's like, I think Tuten just straight up takes this job. Like, you got
Yeah, I don't
right,
know
Nate.
why I didn't move him ahead of Sampson yet. We did the first and second round, and I had been seeing some of the hype. We just did that this week, and I haven't looked at this range of my rankings this week yet. I make a list of the guys that I kind of think could be in the discussion. Jayden Higgins was in the honorable mentions. I wound up putting Tuten at 212 as like the one fun guy that you get in there that like people wouldn't expect. Next year, which is obviously not this year, you're talking about probably ETN and Bigsby are just not in the question or in the equation or in the picture anymore. Bashal Tuten's just the guy in the Liam Cohen offense at that point. But this year, I think that also happened. That's the one where the transition happens. That's how he winds up as a second round pick next year. So the fact that I had him at 212 in 2026 ADP, I'm pretty excited to get him at 1102 in this draft.
That seems good. Travis Etienne is an unrestricted free agent, to your point there, and then Bigsby be on the last year of his deal as the clear backup, and it's just clearly Bashal Tuten's backfield. I can see that. I mean, the easiest thing is to just think of him as this year's Bucky Irving. He's got the exact same coach as Bucky Irving. He's kind of somewhat similar to Bucky Irving, so it's an easy one. And then
it's super.
Where's
easy.
Bucky going? Bucky's going at like
right
209. So why?
When
if anything, you might be low.
We brought that question up on Banana. Somebody asked us or something, or I don't know if Siegele posed it like right after the draft. And I was like, it's obviously Bashal Tuten. He took Jarquez Hunter, who he still is constantly talking about. We did I keep mentioning we did a draft together earlier today and we recorded it and we took Jarquez Hunter on that. And I asked him a lot, kind of grilled him about Jarquez Hunter. So if you're curious about Sean's takes on Jarquez Hunter, we went through it quite a bit on today's episode of Stealing Bananas. We'll probably post like tomorrow. But anyway, Tuten's been that like obvious answer to that question. It feels like too obvious answer to that question the whole offseason. His profile is so good. His draft capital is way better than even Bucky's was. I mean, obviously he's not directly Bucky, and what Bucky did is an outlier and is exciting, and you can't always have that. There may not be Bucky this year. But like, you want access to this rookie running back class. We've been saying it since freaking like February and March and April. Like, we now have RJ Harvey, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, and Bashal Tuten, who are like three of the like five most exciting ones, right? Like, I'm very excited about having access to the rookie running back class. That's the big macro thing you have to do this year.
Agreed.
For sure.
And it's a deep rookie running back class. Like, I think there's just a lot of ways to play it because it's good at the top. It's incredible at the top with Ash and Genty. There's a bunch of guys who are all, very strong prospects. But yeah, the guy I've been fading, Ben, is Caleb Johnson, because I think he belongs more with Tuten. I actually have Tuten and Scattaboo in my stuff ahead of them, like as pure prospects, even with the draft capital. I think they come out ahead because of the pass catching element they bring. But that, when you have that break, which Caleb Johnson has kind of split the in between those tiers, and I think he belongs with the guys below him. But once you get down there, those prices are so good. Scattaboo, especially now that he's back at practice and healthy, he's a great pick too. But yeah, Tuten's my highest drafted player. I think he's just like that. That could be an explosive offense. The offensive line isn't great, but I still think they can put up points. They can just be so improved compared to last year. And this team has no ties to these running backs. No ties. I think if Tuten doesn't get banged up in training camp, he's probably going like 2 or 3 rounds higher by now, because he would have already started to be pretty clearly the guy they're going to hand it to.
Gretch, can we get your take on the Jayden Higgins pick? I think he's sliding just a smidge here because of the slot demons playing in 2 wide receiver sets with Nico. There was a lot of enthusiasm for Higgins, I think, at the start of the summer when he first landed there. And now everyone's like, oh, what if, he's kind of odd man out? There's the Xavier Hutchinson comments, etc. So sell the people on Jayden Higgins at this 10th round price tag.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was incredibly good last year. If you look at the college, yards per out run profiles and stuff, I know people have mentioned, I've seen people, like I saw Madison Parkhill, who I think is really sharp, make a case for Jalen Noel somewhat recently. And I see people say that they were both good, and that's just not the way that I would articulate it. In 2023, when Higgins was in his first year in an offense that Noel had been there in for a couple of years, Higgins had a much higher ADOT, a little bit lower yards per target, but it gave him like really similar weighted targets per route. When I look at that stuff, or sorry, I said yards per target, I meant targets per route, but it gave him very similar weighted targets per route in terms of like the air yards and stuff. And then Higgins was just way better in yards per target. So he had like a 3 yards per route run. Noel was good at like 2.55, but Higgins was at 3.0. Next year, it flips. So Noel's targets per route goes down. Higgins goes way up. And Noel's ADOT also rose. And so the yards per route run kind of actually, his yards per target went up. The yards per route run sort of converged. But the target earning is what I mean that flipped. Suddenly, Higgins at the high ADOT was earning 29% targets per route, which is really, really good. And then the big thing that everyone says about him that I really like about him as a rookie is that he's got incredible hands. And so then when I was watching the film on him, dude is like really good at playing the ball in the air. And I don't think drops matter, but I do low-key really love the guys that just always bring the ball in. And so like Pat, you've done the research on the rookies who like they succeed because of efficiency, because they don't always get a ton of routes. The way that I think Higgins succeeds is on efficiency, which he had in both years at Iowa State and in prior during his college, wherever the hell he transferred from, I can't remember. But he's got incredible hands. So when he gets on the field and he actually runs the routes and stuff, he's going to play the ball well. He's going to make those plays, and I think they're going to rely on him. People are worried that he's like too redundant with Nico, and I think they'll just play them together, and he'll get a work off Nico. They're going to play plenty of 3 wide receiver sets. I'm not super concerned about like 2 wide receiver sets being a major. I mean, they're going to do some of that, a little bit more of that under the new offensive coordinator. New offense is like trending that way a little bit. They like Cade Stover, their second tight end, all that stuff. But we know that with rookies, like some of that's going to be there in the first few weeks and those things. As the season goes along, man, I just think he's going to be really, really good. The Noel thing, the other thing I'll point out is just the draft capital. They took Higgins right at the top of round 2. Like, this is a really good draft capital. They took Noel at the end of round 3. And Noel also contributes on special teams. And they had already like drafted Kirk or signed Kirk. My read on Noel was like they brought him in as like receiver depth, heir apparent to Kirk, and as like a kick returner, which a lot of these teams are actually prioritizing kick returners this year. Like the Eagles, really sharp team, paid Avery Williams like $4 million guaranteed. Not $4 million, sorry. Like $400,000 guaranteed to come and be their kick returner. The guy from Atlanta. He's been a backup running back in Atlanta for a few years. They paid AJ Dillon like $150,000 guaranteed to come in and compete for the RB2 job. So this is like a depth RB, but it's because he's the kick returner. He got like as much guaranteed. And I think that happened in the draft a decent amount more than people are realizing, that like some of these guys are going to play on special teams, and like you start to get the special teams picks in about round 3, round 4. I don't think Noel's like a bad pick late. Like he could definitely work his way in, but I don't think they're on like level footing by any means. They drafted Jayden Higgins really high. Like you just said, it's a really good draft capital.
And Noel, I think, is slot only. Like even if, and I kind of like him, I think he's a decent prospect, but I think Higgins is definitely a better prospect, and he's slot only. And so he's the guy I'd be worried about with the slot team and stuff, not Jayden Higgins, who's definitely an outside guy. I guess like Xavier Hutchinson might play some to begin. And I think the thing to me with Higgins, like early on, everyone was excited because it felt like you get to win twice. Like you get this dude who's actually going to contribute right away because they were calling him a starter. He's working, in with the first team right away. But then obviously he's back weighted because, he'll get more and more, and maybe he gets better and better down the stretch. But then it was like, oh, we're going to have to wait actually probably a little for his like role to fully materialize. Not that I don't think he'll start or like have like significant role right away, but he probably, it might be a little inconsistent out of the gate. But so what? Like if he's, at this price, it got to me like when I have the decision between him and Burden, I'm sometimes just taking Luther Burden in best ball because I love Luther Burden. I think he's awesome. The really high ceiling. But Burden's long gone now. Burden went up the other side of the turn. So we get Higgins to fall all the way back to us. I think it's a no-brainer to take the upside there.
Agreed. We are about to pick here at the end of the 12th round. We've seen a ton of running backs coming off the board here since we last picked Tuten, still kind of in this long flat tier at wide receiver. Marvin Mims comes off the board. What are you guys seeing here?
I'm seeing Drake May.
I'm looking at. Oh, did Drake May make it all the way back?
Yeah, this is where we took him last night. 12:0. Was it 12:08 that we took him?
I'm too busy still. I'm looking up stuff on Jayden Higgins and Xavier. What's his face? No, I think we take Drake May. Well, the guy in the turn's taking 2 QBs. What were the other options?
So there's a couple running backs. Like there's your Algiers. Obviously, Garendo's not as interesting. Shipley goes. It'd be like a Keaton Mitchell or an Algier.
Keaton Mitchell would be.
I'm gonna have a bad time if we don't get May. So I would just say let's take. Unless there's a guy you guys really want here that we're actually. I don't want to push him just because like best practice. We should push the guy around the. Like let's just take the guy we want. So I don't feel sad.
Let's take May.
I mean, there's no clear. Yeah.
Let's take May. I don't want to lose May after that. But I was gonna say that I do really want to get Mitchell onto this team. But
I'm happy to take Mitchell, whoever you want, Ben. Once we got Drake May,
we have Drake May on the team, I'm getting a little itchy.
I just, a guy taking 2 quarterbacks in the first 11 rounds doesn't make me feel great about his decision making. Okay,
that's a fair point. That is
he could do anything.
Yeah. So he goes. The turn goes Tillman and Douglas. So. Neither of our targets there. I'm definitely down for Keaton Mitchell here. Gretch,
didn't Sean call him the best running back in football yesterday? Or?
He did. I think he called him like Christian. Was it Chris Johnson and the best running back in football? I can't keep up with all the platitudes.
The superlatives were.
He called Baseball Tuten Jamal Charles, and I blacked out after that. So I'm not sure what he said about Keaton Mitchell.
Keaton Mitchell actually looked like Jamal Charles. I want Keaton Mitchell. If
he does kind of look like Chris Johnson. No, I'm happy with Mitchell. Yeah.
I went through the preseason stuff, right? And Keaton Mitchell's drum beat has been as loud as Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt's, but people just aren't talking about it as much. When I went to when I watched the first preseason game, he got like 9 carries. He had like a 20-something yard touchdown run, and I think people were like, "That's the one I saw getting circulated," and it's not that impressive of a run. It's kind of like Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt's run, where like I saw some people saying a high school running back could have scored this, which is like, whatever. I mean, yeah, it was well blocked.
He outruns the safety though. Give him some credit. Come on.
Yeah, he does. The run prior for Keaton Mitchell, he gets a little bottled up and he jump steps, and it looks like he warped like 4 yards just out. He's behind like the guard, and now he's outside the tackle and running full speed, and he gets a 20-yard run right before the 20-yard TD run. That was way more impressive. How he sidestepped into space was insane. Then, so earlier than that, his first carry was off the left side. He just blew through the hole for like an 8-yard gain, and you're like, dude, I've never seen anybody go into the lineman and out of the lineman faster. It was insane. Then a little while later, there's a defensive tackle. This is all in like 9 carries. Defensive tackle is coming off a guard, wraps his arm around right over his shoulder, right? And it's like his hand on his chest. And you're like, Keaton Mitchell's a small dude. He's about to yank him down. He throws off the arm tackle from a D tackle and turns a 1-yard loss into like a 2-yard gain. It's not amazing, but it was impressive for a little dude. And a little while after this, he's running like an outside carry, and the unblocked defender's right in front of him. He just does a spin move toward the outside, toward the way he's going, and gets to where the play is designed by evading. The guy doesn't even get a hand on him. It's an untouched, like it's still yards before contact, evading an unblocked defender in front of him, and he doesn't have to like go back the other way. He still goes to where the play is designed and gets like a 7-yard carry on that play too. It was insane. It was like 6 carries that were the best 6 carries I saw. I watched every game in the preseason. It was like the best 6. I had to rank the top 10 carries. I think I would have had 6 Keaton Mitchell carries in it. It was crazy. His preseason week, I feel like, is insane. Go watch it.
You could do. I feel like you could do some YouTube content that would do numbers there. You just rank the top 10 carries of preseason. I would.
There is a market for that.
I would watch that.
Top 10 countdown. And at 5, Keaton Mitchell.
Keaton Mitchell. I mean, that would be sick. That would be so fun.
So here's a quick rundown of the team now through 13 rounds. We got 1 quarterback, 5 running backs, 6 wide receivers, and a tight end. Brock Bowers holding it down up top. Jonathan Taylor, Ted Arroyo McMillan, Devontae Adams, RJ Harvey, Jordan Addison, Matthew Golden, Josh Downs, Bill, Jayden Higgins, Bashael Tuten, Drake May, and Keaton Mitchell in the 13th round here. If people are looking on a price check on Brian Robinson post-trade today, he went at 12.5 just after Trey Benson and before Rashad White. What was your guys' take on the Brian Robinson trade, what that means for his value? Obviously, we've discussed the Bill side, but anything on the Niners for you guys?
Oh, it pissed me off that I had just taken this has happened to me like 6 times this year. I just took Garendo in my big dog slow, like 2 hours prior. I was not envisioning that Garendo was about to get a bomb dropped on him. It's not good for Garendo. That's my take on the Niners. It's bad for Garendo. I think
It's a huge bummer.
Otherwise, not a huge deal. And I didn't really move. I had moved Brian Robinson way down. I didn't really move him up very far. I moved him ahead of Garendo. I moved Garendo.
I think
down.
it's bad for Robinson. For you know, like you goes to the Bears, okay. He goes to the Texans, great. He goes to the Cowboys, like all of those types of destinations where he would have a role. I mean, he's just a pure handcuff now. I don't think it's like a guarantee that if McCaffrey goes down like week 11, it's Robinson. It might be Garendo. I wouldn't draft Garendo anymore. You know, whatever Garendo you have is enough, but it might be Garendo.
Could I sell you a $500
you can't.
big dog share?
You cannot. But but that team is still alive. You know, I wouldn't draft it where you drafted him now, but it's not like he's dead. Robinson just got traded for a 6th round pick. Like, you know, he's like, hey, Brian, we're actually not gonna bother having you on the team. We're sending you to San Francisco for a 6th round pick. That dude's not guaranteed anything.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a great point. I think it's really bad for Jordan James. If you had Jordan James dynasty or anything, like
no.
Well, there's your next Kyle Shanahan, you know, drafted running back that does nothing because that's
a remember that guy where the answer is I don't remember that guy.
That's a very non-memorable name. Tyrion Davis Price, I can remember.
That's an I don't remember that guy.
Yeah. I was going to float Ollie Gordon if he came back around.
Yeah.
He has risen quite a bit. He would have been the other one. Honestly, I think that should have gone right around Keaton Mitchell. And I think Algier was in that discussion too, but that was the last of a tier for me, those 3. Ollie Gordon looks like he's in a good spot.
Yeah.
Everything's broke right for him.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah, there's still some interesting running backs. You start to see some of the rookies come off. Woody Marks comes off as we start the 14th round. Rashad Bateman was kicking around there for a while. He goes. The tight ends for people here trying to keep track. You know, in the 11th round, we saw Goddard, Henry, Kincaid. 12th round was Strange. 13th round, Ertz, Chig, and Jonnu. And then likely at the start of the 14th. So starting to get into this bottom tier of tight ends. We got, let's see, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we have 7 more picks. 2 of them, obviously, kicker and defense. So 5 more skill position players here to land the plane.
It's going really well. I mean,
it is.
You guys need to be right on Matthew Golden. I'm going to hold pat to that one. We got Devontae Adams is the other one that I'm like, I mean, please just be right. But the rest of the team is like, if those things are right, this team is really good.
It's a nice mix of big reaches and value slurps.
Yeah.
Of Dipperino
right.
slurps. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, the Adams, getting those like the Adams type pick and the JT pick to give you that foundation when you rip a ton of rookies is comforting,
right.
I guess.
It's sort of like we're the blind seals, right? We got to go get the breadcrumbs, stare in the sun, but then, you gotta rest and recover. You go slurp some Dipperino, and then you get back out there and slap it up.
Yeah. I don't see, we're at the point here where the ADP is just like
it doesn't
completely irrelevant.
Yeah.
So
it's going out and getting our targets now.
I like what Mac Nova said here. If the players are good, this team should be very good. It's
when you put it that way, it does make a lot of sense. Hollywood Brown, Roshan Johnson, JJ McCarthy. We also have seen our first kicker and defense off the board. You're not allowed to accuse anyone of reaching for players once kickers and defenses come off the board. That's kind of the rule here. Brandon Aubrey and Denver defense in the 13th round.
Oh, I just realized we're in. So this commenter said Jayden Higgins to the moon. Texans pass so much. That's another thing I didn't say, but I do think we have to realize is they don't have running backs. So this whole thing about
Right.
like, oh, is he going to play in 2 receiver sets or anything? Like, I mean, he's probably their second best offensive player or third best. They don't have running backs.
So
All right.
we're on the clock. Like the one running back, like still that just seems to me like such a clean bet would be Giddens. With all these
But we'd
rookies
be
coming off.
handcucking here.
Oh fuck!
We have Taylor.
Thank you. I completely forgot about the Taylor.
So
thing. Thank you.
we only have 6 receivers.
Yeah,
We could do Kyle Williams, right? He's still
That's
there.
who I was going to float. Yeah. I think he makes
don't-
a lot of sense on this team with the Drake May stack.
Yeah, he does, and he's the highest on my rankings. But I don't even want
Yeah.
to take him. What I want to take is Jalen Coker right now. I want to make Pat take Jalen Coker.
No, I like Coker. I mean, I was down on Coker when then there was like
Yeah.
buzz that he might not make the team. I'm in on Coker now. I think Williams makes more sense for the team with the May stack, but
Well,
we
the other
could-
one was to roll the clip.
we could roll the clip and then see
Yeah, roll
what
the
happens
clip.
on the turn. Yeah.
Can you get it?
all right. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this in time because I did not have him in the queue.
Shit,
All right, sorry. I had Kyle Williams in the queue, so
that's
it
fine.
just
Maybe we'll get it coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, and I put a couple other wide receivers that I'm definitely interested in as well. But we had Kyle Williams here. Obviously makes sense on a Drake May team. Getting a pretty nice discount on him. I feel like it's been like kind of quiet from him at camp. I guess what? Jalen Polk just got placed on IR. Not that was going to affect things,
I
but
thought that.
I just haven't heard a lot of Kyle Williams.
Yeah, he's been, I think there's been some ups and downs. I listened to Ollie Connolly breaking down the tape on some of these rookies from preseason. And his take was basically like, he's still kind of doing like too much. Like you want to talk about, okay, let's make our pick.
go.
I'll talk about him.
Gretch,
we
you
good
want
with
a
Fan?
Darkwing Ducket?
Or do you want to do
When
Coker?
there's trouble, you call DW.
All right.
Okay,
All
yeah,
right.
we don't have a Coker
He's
click.
duck-footed. He looks really weird when he runs.
If it walks like a duck,
Wasn't his run like compared to like a duck?
Pigeon-toed good, duck-footed bad.
There's trouble, you call DW. Darkwing Duck.
maybe it's a duck.
He's losing like a round of draft capital because of the direction of his feet point. I'm taking the duck-footed discount. Would he be better if he wasn't duck-footed? Probably. But like, he just was half an offense. I'm pretty sure he can fucking move.
You're right. The running style is crazy. It's like Russell Wilson. It's not good.
Darkwing Duck. I
love
love
that
the way
so
Rotopat says it's like Russell Wilson. It's not good.
I
His
know.
tone of voice is so funny.
I love that the clip is sort of, it's like only 60% positive. It's like kind of half, oh no, he runs weird.
Well,
Let's
it is
get
funny, like how the-
dangerous. Did I sing that part where in the song they go, "Let's get dangerous"? Like you need that in the clip too.
Dangerous. I mean, that we could, there you
Well,
go.
there you go.
It's the first clip we've ever had that's not just like pure hype. There's like so much skepticism
I
in
know,
that
it's
clip.
really
We're like, this guy can't even walk correctly. Is how worried we are.
Yeah, you can tell the clips have not been working out.
Yeah.
The way this clip is done.
Amazing.
I also
Um,
like just Rotopat in there, just being
Oh, it's
negative
so
about
good.
everything is always
He's
so
so
perfect.
It's so funny. I was gonna say on Williams, the Connolly's breakdown was that
I
he's-
just took his second defense in the fifth round.
it's that it's a timing based offense that Williams is still kind of doing like too much. He needs to kind of clean some stuff up, be where he needs to be on time more, but that, like he's like clearly more talented than the guys ahead of him. So pretty, hopefully we get a little more. Like I would love if he has like 30% of the routes in week 1 and we get some eyes on him.
Mhm.
And then, he gets up to 50% by like week 3 or 4. That's
what
how
do
he
you think,
that's how he
like,
stays on our roster.
Where were you with him with his profile? Because when I looked at it, like his routes and or his like per route stuff, especially that year 4 season after he'd come over to Wazoo, and he's playing with Cam Ward, and it's like his worst season. He's like not able to play well. And then the year after Cam Ward leaves, he has a strong 5th season, and he had some earlier production when he was at wherever, Nevada or whatever, UNLV. But like, where are you at the profile's not that strong.
It's not that strong. It's mostly a bet on, he gets the 3rd round draft capital in a situation where he can get, 2nd round opportunity basically. But he is he's like a route. The thing he does really well, the reason people like him if they like him is because of route running. He gets open, he gets separation. And so that's, to me, exciting. Like, that's probably the thing I've changed the most on as far as wide receiver evaluation over the years. Like, going back to like where I'd be in 2011 versus where I am now. It's like guys who can get open and draw targets consistently has so much more ceiling than I would have told you back then. And so I think that makes him a really exciting prospect. In some ways, like Ladd McConkey last year was kind of boom bust. It's like, can he get? He's undersized? Can he get open and draw targets consistently? Because again, if he has a really high ceiling in the situation, but is he good enough? Kyle Williams is like a lower tier version of that type of bet, I would say.
Yeah, and I do just like the correlation with May. I do. I mean, May has a floor for sure with his rushing upside, but if he hits that uber ceiling, like it's gotta, I mean, Diggs, of course, but I think Kyle Williams is really the one that takes him being a hit. Like, that's where you get those super high end May outcomes.
Yep. Yeah, I think you're right. Unless Travion's just like,
that's true. Just wheel route, like 40-yard wheel routes every game.
30,000-yard receiver.
Yeah, which, I mean, at this point. So, yeah, after we get our duck-footed king here, the running backs continue to come off the board. Kendre went right before Fannin, Brashard Smith, DJ Giddens. We get a couple more defenses here. Kyle Monangai goes. Chris Rodriguez goes. Sean Tucker goes. Jatavian Sanders as well. Someone asking, is Judkins still on the board?
He's gone. No, he went way
he's
earlier.
Gone.
Yeah, before Dylan Sampson, which was weird.
Yeah. Yeah, Judkins is gone. Yeah, so we have 4 more picks or 5 more picks, 3 more skill position players here. We got 1 quarterback.
There are a ton of really good I have a pick that I really want to make on this team. I mean,
yeah. I definitely like the wide receiver flyers the most of everything now.
That's right.
Me too. I think you were right about Giddens. That Giddens was kind of the last guy that really jumps out to me as, clear-cut contingent value. And there's some other good guys you could talk yourself into, but there's just not that much left.
I'm not quite as in on. Well, I'm not out on the guys that Pete you said. I have them ranked here, but there's so many good wide receiver players.
Yeah, it's the wide receivers.
Yeah, this is why you just have to go get the running backs, because, I mean, there has been, like, you look at, so after the round where we took Higgins and Slot Demon and Godwin went, you had like Keenan Allen and Ayuk in round 11. And now we're getting like Dante Thornton. We had like Bateman go like 3 to 4 rounds later. Like, there's just, like, you look on Underdog, right? Like Rashad Bateman and Keenan Allen, like Bateman goes ahead of Keenan Allen on Underdog. And I get the half-point thing, but you see like a 4-point gap here, or a 4-round gap. It just shows how long that tier is once it breaks. I know. Wide receiver.
And, it feels like a little weird coming from Best Ball to take like a Keaton Mitchell in the 13th or whatever, but like that's last call for these running back bets. And you take Cedric Tillman there, the guy at the turn, like, what's the difference between him and, a million other guys that we're going to take now? So I think you got to get the running backs before they go.
Yep. More defenses coming off. Houston, Darren Waller. I have not heard an update on Waller recently. Is he healthy?
I don't know what. Yeah, he just dropped a single today. So
I'll never forget us rushing to the podium in our.
I know.
The last round of our first slow draft when he immediately signed with the Dolphins, which I think was the play at the time. But man, it has been pretty quiet on that.
Sorry, Ben.
Ghost. No, that's okay. I'm not that worried about getting him because there's some good. So there is one. There's one running back that shouldn't still be here, in my opinion, which is Taj Brooks.
I had him in the queue too. I had him in the 2 Denver wide receivers along with Coker.
Taj Brooks has been going in the 14th round, and I kind of really like the play. Like Samaje Perine's not going to be a 3-down back if Chase Brown goes down. He may even just play some on passing downs. They really seem to like him.
The only thing I would say is that if we were to take a Denver receiver, we get information on what's going on there quickly, where I think Brooks is someone we churn back, like, unless we're going to hold him all year as a contingent bet. But
yeah, we still also have 2.5 weeks until the season. I guess. I mean, Chase Brown's not
true.
Gonna get, but Gretch, if you like Brooks, I mean, I
no, we can take Franklin. It would be Franklin over
or Bryant.
It would be Franklin.
You're Franklin. Okay,
I'm hard Franklin.
Okay.
You're hard Franklin.
I got Franklin.
I think Bryant looked really interesting, but I think he was playing in like the Sutton role in the second. I don't know. I'm not that hard of Franklin, but I was trying to help Pete out because we were really low. I have Franklin ahead of Bryant.
Brooks.
I am too. Yeah, I think I don't know what's going on there, and I would like, but I think there could be some opportunity, and
Yeah, Bryant's probably the one that gets more routes, but I feel like he's more like the backup X receiver to Sutton somewhat. I feel like Vele's trade opened up the slot routes for Ingram. Franklin's probably rotating with Mims still. I mean, the whole thing is still going to be a rotation. But
I'll also say too, like you Gretch said, this is last call for running back. There's still going to be some interesting wide receiver darts.
That's right. There's a lot of interesting receiver darts. That's why I was kind of thinking we could go Brooks, Jarquez, Hunter. Do you guys like Hunter?
Brooks or Hunter? I would be fine with either of those.
I think they're similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
You choose.
Siegele is telling me a bunch of stuff about Hunter today. That's
Hunter's fun.
head.
Like we could get.
He's a guy you could get early information on, right? Where like Taj Brooks isn't going to have a week 1 role, but Jarquez Hunter
take
could get
Hunter.
7 carries.
Yeah. Siegele was making a case that like Hunter may actually play a lot more than people realize. So we're doing
Hunter's per touch stuff is pretty damn good. So
this team is pretty light on backs. Like we do have Taylor Harvey, but if Krosky Merritt is in a little bit of a rotation, Tuten, Mitchell are like backups. But we'll be all right.
But Hunter, I think, is more likely, at least I think, to kind of be someone that we're like spot starting in week 2 when we realize
Right. I think Hunter was a better pick for that than Brooks.
Yeah.
But I think we maybe could have taken them both instead of Franklin, but I don't mind the Franklin pick. I really don't.
Yeah,
I'm too skeptical probably. That offense is going to be really good. We talked about it.
It's been really good. Yeah.
Yeah. I've been like, that has been just like every slow draft. I've just been Franklin.
Yeah, me too, man. Because he hasn't been drafted in those tournaments either. So
yeah,
that's part of the appeal.
Yeah, right. Like when the sidekick starts suggesting Dante Thornton, that's when I'm like, all right.
That's when you start taking Franklin.
Check on.
That's when I take Coker.
Yeah,
or anyone other than Dante Thornton.
Yeah, and then Coker's so fun in like the eliminator too, because you get the week 14 bye. You get the super late bye.
Yeah,
It's just nice.
I got Quentin Johnston being recommended now. Let's see if I can take Franklin in this one. Yeah,
the one thing, the most bullying I've had to do on the sidekick, it wants me to take Tua just every single
Tua
every time.
I do it sometimes. The 175 Tua sitting at the top, I'm like,
I do it.
This does.
I have a conversation with the sidekick where I'm like, if it's after 150, let's talk. Because I gave just chill.
It's gotta be late enough.
Yeah. That's all right. Here's the squad here with 3 picks.
Tua starts looking. You know how like 2 start looking like 8s later than when the bars are getting about to close.
It's not late enough. Give me another hour.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Call this an old John Mulaney, Nick Kroll sketch because there's too much Tua. Not tuna. Brock Bowers, Jonathan Taylor, Teteroya McMillan, Devontae Adams, RJ Harvey, Jordan Addison, Matthew Golden, Josh Downs, Bill Jayden Higgins, Payton, Tuten, Drake May, Keaton Mitchell, Kyle Williams, Harold Roll, The Clip, Fannin, Troy Franklin, and Jarquez Hunter here. Drafting a main event team with Ben Gretch. Gretch, let the people
What do we
know.
need to do with this last non-kicker DST pick? Like, it's not tight end. We could take a second QB.
I'd put a QB in the chat. You would put a wide receiver you like. Both those guys.
Oh, that's right. We only get one of those. Crap. I was hoping we get them.
We don't have to get the QB too, but I definitely like him just considering how this team shook out. So
I'll try to pitch you guys on the receiver. I don't really care if someone takes him. If they take him, they take him. Well, should I not say it? I don't know.
it's your call.
Take a peek. And I think the idea of a take a peek would be we have McMillan and Adams, and Addison is our wide receiver 3, and he's suspended. We have Taylor and Harvey. So we're starting Golden and Downs as it starts at flex. JCM and Higgins and Tuten are then the next players. I don't think we can start any of them. Maybe we could start Bill week 1. We're kind of in a situation where our week 1 lineup is a little bit weak. And so I do actually like a good take a peek for this particular team. If you had 15 plus points, I think we would slot him in right away over one of Golden or Downs. And just, I'd like to see Golden for a week, probably. Although I think you can start Golden. Like Jayden Reed's got a foot thing. Like he might just be the stud right away. But, and Royals goes there at the turn.
He does. Yeah.
Other one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pat Bryant goes, Torrey Horton, Royals. I think all of those guys in the conversation for these flyer picks here.
Yeah, I'm down with the quarterback too.
Yeah, he's a good pick.
Gretch, do you got kicker and defensive ranks ready to go? How much scrambling do we need to do here?
I've done enough of these that I have a couple targets. That's it. So hopefully we get them.
Yeah, I haven't honestly. This is the co-manager thing where I have not once thought about a kicker or a defense in these drafts. When it gets to the end,
my prime defense take is Arizona. Yeah,
I know. That was a good one. How did
Silva
still
react doesn't know that we. So when Silva left early, he told us he didn't know. He knew the draft was the other night, but then the day came around and he said he was too busy, and so he only did like 15 rounds with us or something, and then he had to go to get his work done. And so when he left, the only thing he said was, he's like, "Hey, last thing I'm gonna say though, before I go, Cardinals defense, round 17." And me and Leone started talking about it. We're like, we're not taking them in round 17. We'll take them in round 18 on the turn. We were like 108, so we're like, we'll take them out when they come back around in round 18. They're going in the early 19th. Like, screw this. So round 17, we took actually the guy that I put in the chat. And then and then he goes at the turn, the 17-18 turn. And we were like, oh no. He only starts going, oh no, we're dead. Oh no. Very funny.
Well, so what defense did you end up taking?
Leone said that the Rams defense has a really good D-line and a good week 1 matchup. So we took the Rams. The other one that never goes because their defense is bad is the Bengals, but they play Joe Flacco week 1, and they're bad.
They are bad.
But
yeah,
like,
Rams
Joe
home versus
Flacco
Texans
is like good for a couple throws to nowhere, I mean, he's gonna chuck it. He's not gonna take a bunch of sacks. He's just gonna throw it around. There could be some pick sixes there. So
we are on the clock.
And this is tough. I mean, your QB makes it all the way back. He's a really good pick. I think he goes undrafted. The take a peek is Keandre Lambert-Smith. He played with Herbert ahead of Harris. He caught a flag route from Herbert. A couple plays later, he got an end zone shot from Herbert. I know Quentin Johnson got a concussion in there. I feel confident Keandre Lambert-Smith's going to run routes in the opener, and he's going to get air yards. And he's a perfect type of take a peek where he could catch a couple of long balls, and they're going to throw him shots. He's been really big all through camp. I think he's a really, the way that this team is at receiver. That said, I mean, if you guys really like just locking with the QB, I'm totally fine with that too.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Rams defense first, and then let's keep talking about this. How about that?
Yeah, that's good.
That sounds good. Yeah, I lean Bryce Young where I don't think are very likely to use Keandre Lambert-Smith in the take a peek. Obviously, the point of the take a peek is you get to find out and then use the points if you want. But we're strong enough at receiver that I kind of doubt that we'll use it. So I'd probably rather just take Bryce Young stacked up with Tedero McMillan, and that could end up being like a really nice sprint stack for us. But I think both are good picks.
I think it'd be fun to get Young here, just like with the most likely scenario being we cut Young and are like putting a bid in on a QB2 anyways, like week 1 or week 2 waivers.
Well, that's what I was thinking about the Lambert-Smith thing is if Young doesn't go, you're cutting Lambert-Smith after the Thursday nighter anyway, and then you're picking up Young before week 1.
Yeah, let's see. So quarterbacks left. Young is the top quarterback by ADP. And then Ward is next. I don't know. Is Young going undrafted?
ADP of 198 over the past week.
Yeah, he's been going in the 17th round, actually. We can take Young. That's fine. I've got enough take a peek shots with Lambert-Smith. I do find the point. Let's take Young. I'm definitely in on Young.
Okay.
I do find the point, Pat, about the wide receivers that were strong enough at receiver, like weirdly reassuring because I don't think we are. We have McMillan and Adams, and we're hoping Stafford plays week 1. We're playing Adams with Garoppolo. Addison is the 3, and he's suspended week 1. And then we have Golden and Josh Downs. I kind of would love to sit him as well because he hasn't been practicing. Supposed to be ready week 1. And we don't really have another flex because we're not, unless we play Bill at flex, which we could do.
We'll probably just play Fannin.
Just start Fannin week 1. He sat with the starters.
No, I agree that it's that last decision is a little tricky. I think it's definitely Downs if he's healthy. And then otherwise, yeah, it's probably like Bill or even. Yeah,
I guess I'm maybe more comfortable with Downs. I think we'll have Downs. Like Downs seems like he'll be.
I got a question.
By then,
is there a waiver run before?
Yeah, there
Thursday
is.
night? Can we cut the kicker before Thursday night for Keandre Lambert-Smith if he goes undrafted and then recut Keandre Lambert-Smith for a kicker?
I'm pretty sure you always have to have the full lineup.
You always have to have a kicker on the roster.
I don't think you're allowed to ever not have a kicker in defense.
Got it.
So we add Bryce Young as our QB2 in the 19th round. Definitely can get some really nice prices on some of these QB2s. Like if you're coming over from playing best ball, you get Penix here in the 17th, Jordan Love in the 18th, and we get Bryce.
Wait.
In the
so
19th.
Henry says you always have to have a full lineup. Alex P. Keaton says you don't have to have a kicker. I know that you don't have to have a full lineup because, like Sean, when he gets mad at our team, he'll take the players out of the lineup.
No, I mean on the roster.
No, he means on the roster.
Yeah, on the roster.
I'm sure, but I'm just saying, like you can physically take like.
Oh, you can have no one in the
bench,
in the lineup.
You can bench guys. Yeah.
Sometimes people do that. You just go and they don't want to show you who they're going to play, so they're just empty.
I love this heated discussion, and then there's just a random chat. Punt kicker, LOL. Funny thing to say.
Nice little double entendre there.
Ben, you've reconvinced me that maybe we're not strong enough at wide receiver, but we're obviously,
I think if
we need to be now.
Yeah, if Keandre Lambert-Smith had a 15-point game, I think we would start it, which I think he can do if he has like a long touchdown, Like he could have a 2-catch game and have 2 for 60 and a TD is 14 points.
Right.
Yeah, that is like going back, that's the kind of decision that the Downs if Downs isn't healthy for week 1, that sucks. Cause then you look back and say like between Addison, Golden, Downs, you want to flip one of those to Olave basically.
Right.
But
that's right.
If you get Downs healthy, then you feel fine about it.
And I think that when you take Golden over Olave, you're just saying you're just committing to the.
Yeah. He's the number one on an offense that can actually score points, is what you're saying.
We took Addison early. This is what happens when you take Addison early.
Hey, you know what I did just realize, though, guys? We're worried about our week 1 lineup. What if I told you we have week 1 correlation between Drake May and Brock Bowers, just going back and forth week 1 at Foxborough? There you go.
Couldn't be happier.
That's a fun week 1 matchup for the Patriots. I feel like they get off to a good start there.
It's so funny you say that because this morning, or just like before the draft, Lauren and I and April were walking to get our mail, and we get one of those like magnets that they send you from some real estate with the Patriots schedule on it. And we were looking at the schedule, and Lauren was looking at it too. And I was just like, man, the start for the Patriots is really nice because they get the Raiders. They are on the road in Miami, which they've never historically played well there when it's hot early on in the season. But then home versus the Steelers, who are going to be bad. Home versus the Panthers. Like those are a pretty nice start. And their overall schedule is like pretty light. Like it's
very easy. Yeah.
In Ravens, and otherwise it looks really good.
Well, have you seen the Warren Sharp graphic is like, it's like 49ers are like up at the very easiest possible part of the chart. And then it's a pretty steep decline, but Patriots are next. And then it's like, they're paired with somebody. And then there's like everybody else in the league. Like the Patriots have a very easy schedule.
Yep. Hang on. Let's get in the mood. Let's get in the mood to get our mind right for this final selection. And also as a PSA, if you have dogs, babies, or hearing issues, I would turn down your audio right now.
Kicker Chasing. It's the show where we chase the best kickers. The kickers that help you win championships. The biggest legs. The breaking news. It's everything you've come to love and know. The time is now for Kicker Chasing. Let's get some fucking kickers.
Oh, yeah!
That siren is demented.
I also there's a Justin Tucker pick in there, and then it also made me realize we're never doing the Ave Maria pick.
We talked about that last night, where even our kicking or our clip mushes extend to the.
Oh my
god!
well.
Yeah.
The only we used to frequently talk about the only clip that didn't kill somebody was Justin Tucker.
Yeah.
If anything, it was the worst one of all.
It was the worst of all. We didn't know it yet. It just wasn't public knowledge yet.
So we're on the clock. KZ sent in a $1.99 super chat for us to take the Ravens kicker Tyler Loop. Can you come up with an idea better than that?
No, I don't have. It was going to be Jake Elliott, but also, so Henry was saying we can't cut our kicker, but then he went into saying that we have to draft the kicker, which we knew we had to draft one.
Yes.
I think whoever we take, we should cut. So if we want the Ravens kicker, we should re-add. I'm going to make the case that we should cut him before Thursday night and then re-add on Sunday morning.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
So just take not the kicker that we want, actually. Take a little bit of a worse kicker. Someone that's still there in case I don't know.
People have been talking about Minnesota. We'll take Will Riker.
Yeah, Riker's a good one. Take him.
There you go. Beautiful. Yeah.
People,
it's always a race to the volume before the red X. Here's the thing. Now we have real professionals who make these clips, like actually trained video editors. This was me on a MacBook, just like hacking things together, no sound mixing, fucking worst editing you've ever seen.
Well,
And,
jokes on our editors because that's the best clip we have.
It's incredible.
It's so good.
Casey, we didn't draft your guy so that we can add him later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm making stuff as hard
we're
as
cutting
possible.
the other guy. We want to cut the kicker we drafted for Ben's look ahead.
Yes.
Who we're then going to cut because he's not going to add points. And then we're going to take the kicker.
Correct.
Or if he does have points, we'll cut someone else. And then
if he has points, then we have to cut, like, I don't know, Jarquez Hunter. It's going to suck if he has points.
Yeah, it's going to suck if he has points.
I didn't think this far ahead. What happens if it works?
Oh my goodness. All right, let me get this back up here. Let's get a final recap. I want to get Gretch's full thoughts on this team. FFPC main event. People do forget it's tight end premium. We drafted 2 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 8 wide receivers, 2 tight end, kicker, and defense. Let's go to the team view here so we can see how this looks. Drake May at quarterback, Jonathan Taylor, RJ Harvey, Devontae Adams, Ted Arroyo McMillan, Brock Bowers, Matthew Golden. We're going to have to get Jordan Addison out of the starting lineup. He is suspended. Bryce Young, Bashal Tuten, Bill, Keaton Mitchell, Jarquez Hunter, Josh Downs, get healthy, brother. Jayden Higgins, Kyle Williams, Troy Franklin, Harold Fannin. This is a ship-chasing ass team. I had a blast draft.
It sure is.
This team fucks. That's what it does.
Yeah, I enjoy this team quite a bit. We're gonna have to scramble a little bit in the early season, but like, isn't that half the fun of doing an FFPC main event? You scramble a little in the early weeks, and then it all comes together. What we have here is we've got running back production out of the gate. Maybe not everyone will be super comfortable with RJ Harvey's their RB2 in week 1, but I am. I'm excited about that. And then we have, we've got some receiver stuff to figure out, but we have Jordan Addison coming back, and he's going to be a huge boost. I think Ted McMillan is going to be productive right away.
Yep.
And I think Golden might be as well. So it's one of those things where we're taking a little leap of faith, but I think we'll be rewarded.
What do you think, Gretch?
I love it. I think this team's fantastic. I like a lot of the upside pieces that we were able to jam into the build. I do think, it's nice now looking back that we have Taylor and Adams, like you said. You need those pieces. If I'm not, like, you guys know I was a little bit indecisive on Golden, but ultimately you had me decided. I'm the one who decided it. I think I don't think I would take Olave over Golden here. But I'm thinking about it from the perspective that if Olave was there instead of Golden, I think I would feel better, which is, kind of counterintuitive. Downs is healthy, and he's going to go in there for Addison. The week 1 lineup's going to be fine. We don't need to take a peek if that doesn't work out. If he doesn't play for any reason, I think Bill is then the next guy that could come in, and I think that's fine. You could start Bill in week 1 if you needed to. And then, so you have him on here. You have Tuten on here. You have Higgins on here. Keaton Mitchell. Sean keeps talking about Jarquez Hunter. I'm not as sold on it, but we get him after, like, everyone else is gone. Isaac Garenda went the round prior. We talked a little bit about Taj Brooks, but every other, like, meaningful rookie bet was gone, as you guys are talking about. Like, that window kind of closed. Harold Fannin on this team. There's a lot of guys that you really like. Getting Drake May as our quarterback on this team is really fun.
Yeah, that's fun.
The best quarterback bet when you push QB a little bit. It's got all the pieces. Like, it's a Bowers team, it's a May team. The stuff with, like, Taylor.
There's a world
have to be right. This is a fun team.
There's a world where there's a guy at the one hole with 3 quarterbacks, and I'm having a bad night. So I appreciate you guys.
You got Keaton Mitchell anyway, who had 6 of the top 10.
No. Did we take Drake May before we gave him a chance to take 3 quarterbacks? We didn't.
We did. No, I'm saying there's another world if we don't do that, where he just takes Drake May, and I'm thinking about that for a while. So
I loved that when I was like, he's got 2 QBs, and you're like, I'm gonna have a bad night. if we don't get Drake May, I'm gonna have a bad time.
Pat's very lucky that there was, like, literally no one.
There was no one
compelling me to click over Drake May.
Well, that's partly why I would have had a bad night, is because, like, I'm like, what did we gain? Like, we ended up taking a guy that would have been there for sure.
Couple things here. Appreciate these comments in the chat. Michelle is a trio. Great having Gretch back. Agreed. We're going to get Gretch back on Tuesday as well to draft with Leone. That's always one of the highlights of the year. Leone gets us off our bullshit. Alpha plays only. Good stuff there. And Samuel Love that this is on my B-Day. Bang, bang. Happy birthday, Samuel, here today. Gretch, you mentioned you got main events firing over there with Sean on Stealing Bananas, obviously Stealing Signals, posts around the clock these days in the lead up to the season. Got to get subscribed there. What else should people keep an eye out for?
Yeah, the signal stuff. It was Tiers Week. I wrote up all the different positional strategies, basically, and how to approach the different tiers within those positions. I haven't published the running back one yet. I'm going to publish it tonight. All the other three are already out there. There's full, rankings and a bunch of strategy stuff at the newsletter. And then, Stealing Bananas with Siegele, bunch of drafts, that kind of stuff going on. That's it. I mean, that's all I'm really doing these days. I'm missing you guys. That's what I do with the rest of my time.
This is fun, man.
I sit like that Wolverine meme, and I just have a picture of the three of us. I just stare at it. I'm excited. So what's going to happen is this team's going to win the main event, and then I'm going to take my portion and buy my family a new dad, and then come back to shit chasing.
Buy your family a dad. Oh my God, that sounds like some disgusting Black Mirror episode.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Guy buys his family a new dad so he can draft more fantasy teams. Pat, anything else you'd like to mention before we log off for the weekend?
Matt Irby's going to have an article out on the site pretty soon. Recommend checking that out. I've had a free article out this morning that looked at DraftKings discounts with the Q tag. Travis Hunter goes in like the late 6th round now because he's got a Q tag on because of an upper body injury that people are like, see, this proves you can't play two ways in the NFL. It's like there's never been more free money in the whole world. So he's the cover boy, but there's a few other guys. Legendary running back article. I'm in the lab on that. I'm having a ton of fun. I'm excited for people to check that out. I have a Mike McDaniel quote in there. I ran it by Coach Big Index. He told me I fucking nailed it. So there's there's some good.
Is it the one where he says we are all inching toward death?
No, it's in the future, and it's after after a nice play by Devon Chan, and he tells reporters after the game something. So needed to make sure that was all dialed in. But we're that article I'm going to get it out hopefully this weekend, maybe Monday, but yeah, as soon as it's done. But that's the thing I'm putting all my time into right now.
Beautiful.
I love before you run your stuff down. I love this comment. He just wrote Week 14 is the league playoff final, and I don't think there was like a conversation about that. So I'm trying to figure out why he was saying that.
One might have.
I was like,
maybe.
Oh, we have McMillan. No, both of our quarterbacks have Week 14 bye. So if we do hold Bryce Young and Drake May all year, we're going to need to pick up a third.
This is what I say whenever anyone brings up Week 14. We are going to have a bye, and actually, no, we will need them in Week 14.
You're going to need
Week 13.
in Week 14.
Let me see what's my spin zone here. The team is so good that we have a bye that we can win without a quarterback in Week 14.
Yeah.
This is the beauty about not having high investment though in quarterbacks. Easy come, easy go on the waivers. There. All right. Yeah, for me, I'm doing a stream on Sunday night. That's going to be available to everyone. It's after dark, going to do a guillotine league. So the three of us did a guillotine league down in Miami for our ship chasing meetup. Had a ton of fun with that. Going to host another one of those over on my channel. And like I said, back for high stakes draft on Tuesday. The ADP chasing crew will be back for a normal episode Tuesday morning. So you get a double header on Tuesday, ADP chasing, high stakes draft in the evening, and then our Thursday night finale. And then also getting in the works, we'll announce, I think the plan, my guy Zach's going to make a little video for us, but we'll announce next Thursday our plans for the Shipcast in season. So the Shipcast is coming back, slight little twist. We'll have that announced on the Crack Rock episode. I think that's it for housekeeping. If you guys want to become YouTube members, you can join us in the Ship Chasing Discord. That's in the Deposit Kingdom Discord. Once you're a YouTube member, there's a link. Hop in the Deposit Kingdom Discord, sync your YouTube with your Discord account, and you will unlock that Ship Chasing channel where there is hardcore fantasy football talk around the clock. Appreciate you guys. Thank you to Ben Gretch. Go subscribe to Stealing Signals. Go subscribe to Stealing Bananas, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday for ADP Chasing and another draft. Peace.